Okay, we are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday, um, where we try to take a comedic approach to debunking. Can't talk today, sorry. We try to take a comedic approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet. Today, we have a very special guest, Professor Parks. But before we introduce him, I have a special treat for everybody. I really want everybody. We're not doing We are doing astrology today. We're not debunking bad political science, but bear with me here for just a moment.
It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. So tonight, we are going to help everyone get it right. Here to help me are some very special guests. Thank you, ladies. Can you tell us your names?
Hello, everybody. My name's Amara. And my name is Leela, her little sister.
And what are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay. So how do you pronounce it?
First, you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together, and it's 1, 2, 3. Kamala. All right, so let's practice.
Everybody over here, say comma. Everybody over here, say la.
Together. For president. It's come to my attention.
Whoops, sorry. All right, so just, it is Kamala, not Kamala, or any of the other words that they like to use on the right to describe people like her or me, or many of you in the audience. But welcome, all of you in the audience. Welcome to Bad Science Sunday. Today we have Professor Parks. Professor Parks, would you like to tell the audience, what's the elevator pitch when people ask you about your channel?
So as I say on my channel, I do content on astronomy, science skepticism, and mental health, specifically my own mental health, as a sort of, I'm trying to be as open as possible as an academic for my students. This is what mental health in academia looks like. So, but yes, that is what I do. Is I make content on astronomy. I look at various different systems of astronomy, such as the geocentric model, and give my thoughts. And there you go.
Yeah, Professor Parks, Mike. I'm going to learn how to talk one day. I swear. Is going in and out a little bit, so please bear with us.
Let me try a different mic. That's not it.
We do want to be.
I was just going to say, your pronunciation game this evening has been truly
No.
Truly hilarious. Yes.
Test it.
Test.
That sounds great.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Kudos to that, Mike. So I do. I know that I understand how some of you feel about people with religious beliefs. I want you to please respect our guest tonight. He is a Christian. He is also a PhD astrophysicist.
Astronomer, but yeah.
Astronomer, okay. Believes in the science, the whole nine. We believe in climate change, evolution, the Big Bang, all of the things. He's not here to proselytize.
Nope. I support LGBTQ rights. I support the rights of any human being.
He's voting for Kamala.
I am. And
right?
have as a vice president can.
So he is a rights affirming scientist, and we are going to give him the same respect that he has been giving to all of us tonight. So please be respectful with your comments tonight. Thank you. All right, Dr. T, what do we have in store for the good Dr. P?
We have. Oh, I have to. Whoops. Hold on. Am I sharing the right tab? Yes, I am.
Okay.
We have for your viewing pleasure this evening, our good friend Gina. I would. I don't
And
know if you can.
oh, right. Gina's streaming in like vertical today, so I
Yeah,
kind of altered things. But
yeah,
if you
but
can you see?
I can, and so we like to do our normal. Oops, we like to do our normal thing here. Gina has a wonderful 166,000 subscribers. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. And this stream was from 3 months ago, and it got just a little under 3,000 views, which
Okay.
isn't terrible, I guess, but
I mean,
So you got to get us to over 3,000 views, chat, and then
then
we're
we
really off to the races,
yeah,
right?
on par with Gina.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God.
But Gina is going to be talking about how she is not convinced that the battle for Earth is over. There's a bit of this that is yeah. But that I'm sure makes as much sense to you as it does to me, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Professor Parks, are you ready?
I am. I am. I've heard that apparently there was a battle for Earth, but I'm sad to hear that it's not over yet.
I mean, yeah, it's Battlefield Earth was a great book and a terrible movie. Just saying.
I agree on the movie part. I haven't read the book.
You don't like the book? I like the
I haven't
book
read the book, but
personally.
I
Oh,
watched the
okay.
movie and it's abysmal to the point where
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to read the book.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's get going, shall we?
Yeah.
Over, especially with the all-seeing eye that showed up, and we talked about that.
By the way, yes, she did start in the middle of a sentence, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah, that was not
But
us.
I
Which
might
we
I
will
might have cut
sometimes
off.
do. We will sometimes do that if like the beginning is too filled with like ads or like they're like promoting things that we don't necessarily promote, or I don't know, a number of other things. Sometimes it's just like music or fluff or filler that but no, we are actually not choosing to start in the middle of the sentence here.
Although it is possible that I still clipped off a part of a word. So let's see if it's as bad as it was the first time.
Over,
Nope.
especially with the all-seeing eye that showed up, and we talked about that all-seeing eye yesterday during the video last night. Like there was a major battle that's taken place. You can see the timestamp on this. This is the 9th of June.
Is that an all-seeing eye?
Okay.
Gina has decided it is, and that's the important part.
I think that's a coronagraph over the sun, but what do I know?
More than us and Gina.
I mean, and which is why you're here.
I honestly don't know what the artifact around that makes it look like an eye, but
This sort of
yeah,
where it
that
clips. And yeah, it's kind of weird
what
because it
that
does,
is.
and it's also like cut off. But she'll show a few more of these, and then like when we get
Oh
to
yeah,
one that makes more sense, then please explain it to us when we get there.
yeah.
Sure.
Like there was a major battle that's taken place. You can see the timestamp on this. This is the 9th of June. And if we are to look up here, we have the all-seeing eye. Let me flip this around.
No,
We have
that's
the
your green
all-seeing
screen.
eye. Let me get over here to this right here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello,
Hello. I do like her shirt
Yeah,
homegirl.
homegirl.
in
Very
rainbow colors.
Yeah.
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 This, okay, this is the all-seeing eye. Let me flip this around right here. This was the all-seeing eye also, but that was on the 8th. That was on the 8th of 2022. Hello, Applebrooks, honey. You can see that the all-seeing eye showed up right there. And that just so
I
happened to be the time.
I
Rosie,
was
honey, let me
alive
Sure.
in 2022. I remember June pretty well. Um, I don't
Ah,
remember
you're so
looking
cool.
into the sky and seeing an all-seeing eye.
No,
Kind of
you
seems
don't.
like something I would have remembered.
I don't remember June of 2022, but I think I'm pretty sure I would have remembered an all-seeing eye. If Sauron was looking at me, that's not something you forget.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even the right color. Okay, like everybody knows that the all-seeing eye is red and flaming.
Scoot you out of the way, baby, because you're a little
Oh,
baby. You
I stan Roger and Gina. Like, not only should they do a video together, but
Oh my
they should
god.
date. They should so get together.
Yeah, our chat. I'm surprised they're not in there, like trying to DM them. Like, have you met each other? Like,
Like they'd be
there's a lot of
perfect.
people. Every time we do one of a Roger or Gina videos, somebody is just like, have they haven't met. Like, they would love each other.
They would love each other.
I think Roger's married. I do remember him talking, well, complaining once that his wife thought he was crazy. I
Oh,
don't know if that means that there was a wife or that there is a wife.
I
hmm.
mean,
Well, that could
sometimes I'm
change.
baffled.
Well, the
Yeah.
right hasn't taken over yet. We still have divorce. So, that could change if he's married.
Yep.
gotta scoot out of the way, honey. That's okay.
It's a kitty
The
cat.
all-seeing eye showed up on Elon Musk's in the sky.
That doesn't surprise me. I don't know what this is, but
It's like a
it,
weird sunset.
it's like
Elon
a.
Musk in the sky. What?
Oh, that's Starship. This is
Yes.
Starship right here.
Yeah, I see that.
What?
So
The
this
movie, the TV show?
no
The
the
rocket.
giant spaceship that they his the SpaceX's like biggest, baddest, most awesome prototype spaceship that they're working on is just called Starship. It's a very generic name. They're still working on it, but they've done a couple of test flights, and this thing here is
What?
one of the rockets. It's
See,
yeah.
honestly, though, I think there needs to be a congressional hearing as to what to ask them why are you creating all of your rockets to look like dicks?
I will say that is a fundamental fact of aerodynamics that is at least a little bit unavoidable.
No, the Saturn V didn't look like a dick. I mean, yes, it's long and and girthy, but it doesn't have a head.
Well, this only the fins are flared out here. There are worse offenders.
Well, yeah, blue orange.
Like the Delta 4, Delta 5, I think it's got a bulbous anyway.
Yeah.
Where the La Padre, you see that right there? Booster downcomer delivered to build site. You can see that happened on the 8th. It happened around the same time that the all-seeing eye happened. That was last couple years ago. I did not check Elon Musk's site to see if there was like something in the sky where that happened. If you're just tuning in, hello.
Hello.
I've come up here with Rosie, but I am not convinced. Let me just so you can see what's happening here. I'm on my other computer.
Let me get it.
Hello.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, it's a really nice picture.
Oh,
It
I'm
is.
sorry. We have another physicist on. So
Oh.
many in the chat would like to know if you know how magnets work because our own doctor.
I'm with the insane clown posse. Magnets. How the fuck do they work?
Thank you.
Yeah. So
There we
Like
go.
that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, exactly. So,
cue up the magnet jokes.
this this is a still, but this is a better coronograph or something, right?
Yeah, I think is that Soho. I'm not sure if that's the main kind of mainstay sun instrument is Soho. I've forgotten what its acronym is for.
I also don't know. I assume that it's solar something something observatory.
H is probably
Something
helios.
helio observe. I don't
Yeah.
know. But what are we seeing here?
Oh, all right. So, what you're seeing is the pale red disc is the coronagraph itself. Essentially, it's a mask that is placed in the optical system to mask all of the light from the sun. The little ring that's in the center of it is a representation of the size of the sun. So the
Okay.
mask is actually a little bit about twice as large as the sun itself. The red spiky things that are coming off, those are magnetic activity, flares, things of that nature. So
Okay, so these are demons. right?
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, obviously.
Well,
Oh,
because
sure.
these are the magnetic portals that we talked about a couple weeks ago, right?
Right, yes.
Well,
Oh,
I don't
they
know.
are
yeah.
Did
magnetic.
you catch that one? Because they were
Mm.
talking about magnetic reconnection as the Earth's magnetic field like gets entrained and pulled off, and then it pinches off, and you get these X points where you get magnetic reconnection happening, where the field lines reconnect. And they were describing it. NASA was describing it as those locations being a portal to the sun, because I guess that transport of charged particles can still happen fairly efficiently. Like from that area, they can like tunnel out of the Earth's magnetosphere or something.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and that's why Elon Musk is so obsessed with spaceships or traveling to space, is so that he can get to the magnetic portals to transfer him to, yeah.
Go into the sun? Okay.
I mean, to somewhere outside of the Earth's
I mean,
magnetosphere,
it
and
is
definitely
Elon,
they're
so I don't put it past him. It is Elon.
yeah,
It is Elon.
exactly.
So
But yeah, so this is like when we get a total solar eclipse of the sun, which I guess is what solar means there. You can kind of see something like this, right? Like with your eyes for a moment.
so this is an H alpha. So this is a narrowband filter allowing only light that is generated by the hydrogen atom that is very red. So that is the only way that you can really see these magnetic flares that come off. If you're looking at it in white light, basically what the human eye would see, those would be very, very dim.
Okay, yeah,
Pretty much
because
everything else washes it out.
the moon is basically the size of this inner region mask. The
Yes.
moon barely covers the sun on a good day, and when it's actually in a farther part of its orbit, it doesn't even entirely cover it. So you actually would see much brighter areas nearer to it. But if you've ever, by the way, if you guys ever anybody gets a chance to go and see a total solar eclipse, it's worth a couple days journey, like
Yes.
genuinely. It
Yes.
is the single most amazing thing I have ever seen with my eyes.
I actually went to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That's the kind of sacrifice that I made to see this. Was I went to the Indy 500 to see this, and as it happens, kind of along what you were saying is that if you saw the 20 or the last eclipse, 2024 eclipse, um, what there was a chance alignment in the sense that there was a fairly deep crater that
Oh,
overlapped right with a prominence. And
oh,
so if you
nice.
saw it, even with solar glasses on, with the eclipse glasses on, you could see this little red dot at the bottom of it. And that
Wow.
was because of that alignment. That prominence was so prominent,
Yeah.
and it was in the right position that you could actually see it.
I didn't catch the 2024 one. I did catch the 2017 one though, and it's amazing.
This
Real
activity
quick,
right here
real
with the
quick.
all
For $5, Jester Lord of Fools says, I'm choosing to believe that there is a rock that Roger believes he is married to, and that his imaginary friends don't buy his bullshit.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
I
that's
live for
fair.
Jester quotes.
Oh.
I'm down with that.
seeing eye, this eye right here has literally flipped to where it was a few years ago. It was in
I want to know exactly how her room here is organized. Like what geometry did we just go through, right? Because we're looking at a screen,
to where it was
and
a
now
few years ago.
and now we like the green. So this is like the ceiling, I think, and
Yeah,
then
but
this is like more ceiling at a different angle. It's very confusing,
wow, that is like Hollywood conspiracy theory kind of.
right?
When you
Yes.
plaster your entire room with shit.
With and the yarn. She needs the yarn.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
she does
yeah.
desperately.
You know, I have a
It was in 2020.
I have a AA art of a guy with yarn and a tinfoil hat, and I'm just waiting for a day to use it.
Yes.
22. It's like a whole lot of stuff started happening in 2022. Also, a lot of changes took place there was a ton of changes, and you can see right there. I don't even know if he's ever got anything off the ground here without them having rocket explosions and things like that.
Oh,
Hello, Carol H. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
she
Hi, Gina.
she just did a 360 and
Right?
okay, well, or two.
Like I have no idea which direction gravity is in her
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, at this point, I am pretty lost. I actually don't know where down is.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Let me flip this back around. I'm just going to they this is as if they fly after all of this stuff came the battle or whatever that's took place up here. Massive. Is the biggest battle. It's the second battle that happened in 1 month, but this by far that happened on.
Really?
So, Professor Parks, you're an astronomer. What is the worst, most like violent battle in space that you've been party to? Not party to, that you've observed, sorry.
That I've observed.
Yeah.
A battle
Well, you're an astronomer. You look at the sky all the time.
between two.
Obviously, you've seen a battle, a space battle or two.
Yeah, like Earth and counter Earth in the counter space with the dielectric medium.
Oh,
Or
counter
perhaps dark matter, or the black ones with the white ones.
Well, Dr. Clive Wells, friend of mine, likes to say that I know about aliens, and I tell him, I'll tell you the same thing I tell him, is that part of my contract with NASA to get those NASA shield checks, I
Yeah.
cannot
We can relate.
confirm or deny the existence of aliens or a major battle that took place 2 weeks ago
Damn.
on the other far side of the moon. I cannot confirm nor deny these things because I really need them NASA shield checks.
Oh, yeah. We wouldn't want to get our shield checks prorated either. So
Yeah, no. I mean,
no, fair.
NASA's
I have
kind
a
of pain in
mouth
the
to
ass
feed.
about that. So
Yeah.
The 9th was the biggest, but there's something else. They launched something toward the sun. There's like a rocket or something, some kind of missile or something that gets rocked right down here. As you can see it, it's going to come up.
Okay, yeah, so this is an animation now. I don't know. I don't think it was always an animation. Maybe it was, and I just wasn't paying attention.
It's going to happen today. It's going to come up from below, and they're probably going to say, "Oh, it's just a asteroid." Well, the asteroid's flying mighty fast. It looks like there's some kind of projectile that was fired at the sun, and that happened today. I don't know what's going to happen over there on that side, but over today, you can watch it. We can get to it. Watch it. Look as it's coming up. Is this some kind of projectile, some kind of like weapon? And
Some kind of a projectile.
To be fair,
from a spaceship?
If by projectile you just mean like a solid thing that's moving through space, in that sense, it is a projectile, right? It is traveling ballistically under its own free fall sort of movement and maybe a little bit of solar wind stuff. So in that sense, but projectile normally, I think the word projectile comes from the fact that it's projected out of like a gun.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a pew
pew.
pew. Yeah, no. If I had to make a educated guess, that's a comet that decided to end it all and just dive into the sun. That would be my guess.
Is it actually split into two here, or is this a frame artifact?
That might be probably a frame artifact because it seems to come back together.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was.
But what she completely ignored, which I think is much more fascinating, are the 2, if not 3, coronal mass ejections that just went off.
Well, to be fair, give her a moment.
Oh, all right, okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she's a fucking idiot.
Well, I was just thinking, if she's talking about battles, I mean, those are massive explosions. Well, look like massive explosions. So
yeah, I mean they've directly affected Earth in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. There was a huge one in the last year, right? It was.
There have been. The sun is extremely active now, and so there have been a number of events. Nothing like Carrington or nothing like what we experienced in 1989, but there have been a few closer misses, near misses, than recently, than in previous years.
So for $2, Milwaukee Atheist says, "Do you believe in Joe Hendry?" And please tell me one of you know who that is.
No idea.
No idea. Oh man, now I gotta look stuff
Apparently, I
up.
don't. Apparently, I do not believe in Joe Hendry.
Hendry. I wanted to like say it fast like Joe Hendry to see if it was like a word. You know, like when
Mm.
Bart calls up the bar and it like asks for a fake name that when he says it out loud sounds stupid.
Joe Hendry is a Scottish professional wrestler and musician. He performs under his real name and is currently signed to Total Nonstop Action Wrestling while also making appearances for partner promotion on WWE and NXT brand.
those
Okay.
sound those sound like extremely
Okay, I was
not at
kind of
all rehearsed.
I was kind of close because it reminded me of Jimi Hendrix, who I very much believe in and listen
But yeah, showbiz is showbiz, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and so one day, if I'm a really really good goddess, Milwaukee Atheist is gonna request the night off and come to my show, and I'm gonna get down on my hands and knees and pray to me, and one day it'll happen. Just putting that out into the universe.
Beautiful.
Some kind of like a weapon. And it's at 22:12. Once this thing comes from up here, you can see the timestamp. We're not going to get to see it yet, but I'm
What do you mean we're not going to get to see it yet? It's right there.
Yeah, unless she's talking
sure
about
that
a
this right
completely
here,
different
Oh.
projectile.
once it reached the sun, there's something that's bound to have happened. Otherwise, this thing would not be racing toward the sun. And it really does look like it's some kind of
Oh,
it's some kind of a ship or something, and it's going.
Does it look like a ship or does it just look like a bright thing?
yeah, it kind of looks like a comet to me, if anything. But
And the reason you're saying that is it because it has a tail?
yeah,
So comet tails, they
Oh, has
always
there been
point
a
away
comet
from
in
the.
the past 2 months? Well, I guess there's always comets
Mhm.
everywhere. Okay.
I actually don't know how often comets show up.
I used to
Pretty
because my son, probably about 10 years ago, he's really into like, astronomy and the whole thing. And he had like a couple
Nerd.
of different apps and he would say, hey, we have to go out at like 3 a.m. this day because I have to look at this comet and this is the only time I'll be able to see it. I'm like, you're freaking kidding me, right?
But did you do it?
A couple of times. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you want to
Encourage,
support
yeah.
as,
I'm giving
yeah,
you, I'm
as,
giving you props for it. I'm 100% giving
Wait a
you
minute.
props for that.
Aren't you in a major metropolitan area?
yeah.
So
It
you
needs to
see
be a bright
stars?
comet.
There were sometimes
You
if it's
saw
really clear, but like you can also the apps will tell you like in your area what you'll be able to see and what you won't.
Okay.
So I
yeah.
Yeah.
mean, yeah, sometimes certainly wasn't often. I've never seen the Milky Way.
Oh,
My
that needs to change.
mm, Maya, do you know why comet tails always point away from the sun?
um I do
Okay.
not remember.
Can you
Dr.
enlighten
Weasel?
us? You're the astronomer.
We have an
Okay.
astronomer here.
Well, first off, if we're going to get really nerdy about this, did you know that comets actually have two tails?
Yes.
So there's the dust tail and then there's ion tail. And so the dust tail is gets literally pushed out by what we call radiation pressure. Photons have the ability to transfer momentum from themselves into an object. We don't. It's so small on the local scale that we don't really experience it. But the dust
This is
grains are so tiny, and the radiation is so intense that you can actually cause the dust coming off the comet to blow backwards, and that is always going to be outward from the sun. So if it's coming in, the tail is going to be backwards. As it swings around, the tail is always going to be pointed away.
and that's the dust tail or the ion tail?
That's the dust tail. The ion tail is when that dust sublimates off the comet, you're going to have charged particles come off with it, mainly electrons. And those charged particles are going to interact with the solar wind, which is driven by the magnetic field of the sun, and those are going to come out straight. So for the ion tail, you can quite literally draw a straight line through the tail, through the comet to the sun. Whereas the dust tail kind of does this little arcing maneuver.
Okay.
Hail Bob.
Is this Hail Bob? I don't
That's
even.
Hale Bob. Yep.
I just
Oh, that
pulled
is
up a.
Hellbop. Okay.
Yeah, the yellowy brown, the yellowy tail, that's the dust tail. The blue is the ion tail.
And so, why does it? What? I was looking for this image while you were explaining it, so I apologize. They get bent. Why? Because of magnetic field?
So the ion tail, those are basically electrons or charged particles coming off the sun, or excuse me, the comet. They interact with the solar wind, which are basically radial, coming out in all directions radially,
Yeah.
and so they get trapped by the field and get accelerated outward. The
So the
dust
sun.
tail, mhm.
Okay.
And
So
so
the
the
sun
dust
is
tail,
is this.
sorry,
The sun is
yes,
this way.
yes,
Okay. Whereas the dust tail
follows the dust tail kind of follows the orbital trajectory, kind of, at least further out, but yeah.
Okay, so the blue tail is the ion tail. It's basically like really, really tiny, tiny particles like electrons and stuff, and it points straight away from the sun.
Yep.
And the
Oh,
dust tail is bigger chunks of dust and whatnot. And because it has mass that's substantial, it doesn't point completely away from the sun because it's also inheriting some of the momentum.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Have we geeked the fuck out of this yet?
Yes. More geek.
Here, you can see the timestamp. We're not going to get to see it yet, but I'm sure that this right here, once it reached the sun, there's something that's bound to have happened. Otherwise, this thing would not be racing toward the sun. And it really does look like it's some kind of a
Does she think that there's like a social mixer happening at the sun that it's racing towards? Like it wouldn't be going towards the sun unless something was going to happen. Like,
I don't know. Maybe there's a star destroyer just out of view that's just shooting the sun for reasons.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that
ship
obviously
or
is a
something.
photon torpedo.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's
obviously.
going very, very
does
fast
kinda look
toward
like a
the sun. You know, but something else was interesting with, you know, like, of course, there's a great big massive explosion. That's from yesterday. Let me flip this around.
Mhm.
There we
Oh, that
go.
looks
See,
like a heart.
she is showing it. She's highlighting the coronal mass ejection,
It looks like a
Hey,
heart.
Oh,
and
it does look like a heart. Very nice. See, she and Roger, they're compatico. Like it's kismet.
Oh,
that these
right.
two
That
need to
means
be.
it is an actual heart, and therefore we must do take DNA samples from it or
Mhm.
something.
So
Yup.
this alien species or whatever is really literally ripping the heart out of the sun. This is
Yeah.
definitely a huge battle.
Professor Parks
Yeah.
came to play.
Yeah.
it kind
So this is a coronal mass ejection, though, right?
Correct. Yes.
It's a bunch of stuff. Just how much
Quite
energy?
literally stuff. Whereas the difference between a flare and a coronal mass ejection is that a flare is just high energy. It's just a whole lot of X-ray energy coming at us. I mean, there are some charged particles in it, but a flare travels at the speed of light.
Oh,
Whereas a
interesting.
coronal mass ejection is literally stuff coming off the surface of the sun in a much larger angle, but it travels far slower. So if the average time for a coronal mass ejection to get out to the Earth's orbit is around 3 days or so.
It's why you can predict them. You can see them coming.
Well, not really predict them so much, but yeah, you can prepare. Like
Yeah, like
essentially, one of the things that there's a couple of professors here who do space weather or solar weather, and one of the major applications for it is they predict as best they can. They're like, hey, SpaceX, this is going to happen. You might want to lower the orbit of your or of your satellites so that they have more protection from the atmosphere. So it's not a precise science in any stretch, but yeah.
yeah.
With flares though, you've got 8 minutes.
Interesting, because I thought a flare was like the loop things that I
No,
would see.
those are prominences.
Okay. See, I'm learning stuff.
Yeah.
We don't, just because I'm like a physics and science person doesn't mean I know all of the physics and science stuff.
Yeah, when it comes to quantum mechanics, I'm pretty shaky.
I don't know how much quantum mechanics is necessarily happening in this part,
No,
other
not
than
much.
like I mean, there's plenty, because anytime you have particle light interactions, it's quantum mechanics, but
Yeah.
like it's not like really cool, awesome, interesting quantum mechanics.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's all
not
cool.
quantum mechanics isn't describing the overall bulk motion of these things.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's basically classical.
How much energy do these things like have?
That's a fantastic question, which I don't have an answer for. Flares are, I think they're billions of times the Hiroshima bombs. I think I can never get those straight. That number I can never seem to remember. It's exceedingly energetic, to the point that at coronal mass ejection, one of the worries is, uh, as it's been reported during the Carrington event, coronal mass ejection basically had a direct hit onto North America, and according to reports, telegraph lines literally burst into flame across the country.
Some of them,
Some
and
of
a
them,
lot of them. There are reports, I've like read some of the reports of the people that were running the telegraph lines that like didn't just completely fail, and they turned off all of their power supplies, and they were just running off of the power that the
yeah.
sun was just like
Right.
driving. They were like, we turned off our power supply, yet now our signal is much better.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
Wow.
makes sense.
Okay, so for $2, Vandalia 1998 says, "So which of you three are the three bad scientists?" I'm not a scientist.
Me,
No, that's me. That
the three
we
bad scientist. Like,
it's just an extra e on the word the. That's all it is.
oh,
Um, I'm
I'm
the bad
thinking,
scientist.
yeah.
Oh, or the bad scientist. Oh,
Uh,
obviously it's Vandy. Duh.
it's
But
obviously
I
Vandy,
thought
and if like I'm
that we all
sure is
understood that.
if BBH is here, BBH will let you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She would have answered that for you.
I'm
Yeah,
the mad scientist
The mad scientist,
of this. Yes.
obviously.
yeah.
And
And
Jester,
she
Lord of Fools, for $5 said, "They were on their way to the Lego Star Wars disco party, dance party. Yes, you were invited."
Yeah.
awesome.
Only if the
Kind of look like a
Cantina band
lovely
is
heart.
playing.
Look at that, like a heart right here and a heart right there. Gina, you got to be kidding. No, it really does. It don't look like a heart right there, but when it comes out, it takes
I,
the shape of a heart, like a lovely heart. If you can picture a heart, actually, it looks like there's two massive round objects in there. It really does look like there's two massive round objects. Good evening, Jean Alice. Yeah.
so are those like the ventricles or like the atrium? I don't know how
I
hearts
don't
work.
know. But if you take a certain dirtier mind, you could say that in fact looks like a pair of testicles as opposed to,
Ah, I like
you know,
that.
you
Yeah.
flip it around.
Flip it around.
That's the
Yeah.
sun's balls. The sun is actually getting circumcised, kind of
Oh,
You mean
self
castrated?
circumcision.
castrated. Yes.
Castrated, yes.
So
Ooh,
Yeah.
so
self castration. That sounds painful though.
yeah. So apparently the aliens just wanted to cut the balls off the sun so that it
Oh,
maintained
yeah.
their speeds. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Of
Rude.
course.
It does. It looks like a heart. Let me look. A lovely heart. We'll take it. We will take it. You all know this is it's this doesn't feel right with that thing going toward the sun. Let me just get this going. I'm gonna flip this
What
back
date
around.
is
Hello
this?
and welcome.
This was
Not. It's not 9/11, is it?
this is the stream is 3 months ago, so
Okay. Well, maybe.
it can't be this 9/11. Maybe it was last 9/11, but
No.
I think it's June 10th of 2022. I think, because I think it was 2022 before,
Okay.
but she's not showing that part of it because she hates us. She hates us almost as much as I hate Maya when I go into to work on the weekends,
How can you
and
hate
I'm not at home to contribute towards the channel at all.
Looks like a heart. Let me look. A lovely heart. We'll take it.
Oh no, 2024.
2024?
June 9th, 2024. I assuming that this is year, month, day. and not because if it's year, day, month, then that's weird. That's like a weird way to like do units.
Even
Look, and I
We
would
will
just
check.
like to remind everyone that one of you dropped the ball. Stephanie does not have her membership for this month. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's my bad.
Look,
I didn't do it.
Exactly. If you had done it, maybe she'd have a membership.
Wasn't me. I
hello.
was dead. I was dead at the time. So one minute. Yes.
there what?
So on the 10th of June, a CME was launched by a M9.7 flare. That's big. Not quite X level big, but it's pretty close up there. And
Next
yeah,
level big.
let's see. I'll click on it. Oh no, just showing a nifty picture of it. But yeah, solar stuff is solar weather isn't exactly my thing, so I'm not hip on basically the Richter scale of flares. But yes, M is pretty high up there. The next level up is X, which I'm sure Elon just loves the hell out of.
Okay, now I'm only partially literate, but I'm pretty sure there's a few letters between M and X, right? There's like
One
a
would think.
G, maybe a K.
One would think. I don't know, a Q maybe somewhere.
That sounds right.
I'm not sure.
Get you all. No, this is
Whoa, 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 whoa,
this
whoa.
doesn't feel right with that.
Hey,
Hey.
hello.
I'm sorry, I clicked. Sometimes it takes a moment, Maya.
Nitty is being totally awesome. This can't go without recognition. So, Nitty gifted 5 cult. God, we have 5 new cult members thanks to Nitty, and that went to Doorknob Head, Andrew Christofferson, uh, Kai Angeli. It really sorry if I keep forgetting how to pronounce his name, but I believe it's Kai Angeli. And Ian debunked. Al Trucker. Al is Al here? Was Al here? I haven't seen Al. Usually we see Al,
Yeah.
but hope Al's resting up because yeah, Al needs. Al just got out of the hospital about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Rooting for him.
Yeah.
But thank you, Nitty, and everybody. If you received a membership from Nitty, make sure you tell him thank you, and welcome to the cult. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas. And one day I'm going to learn how to pronounce anything.
You pronounced tapioca weasels, middies, and vaginas perfectly.
Yes.
Oh,
Really,
indeed, I did. Oh, and again, Mark Agamotto celebrates 4 months back in the cult. Welcome.
Hey.
Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your nitties, and vaginas.
That thing going toward the sun. Let me just get this going. I'm going to flip this back around. Hello and welcome. Welcome. I'm up here with
Hello.
Rosie. She is totally exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this.
Who is she?
She has
Carol?
them on her ceiling.
Oh yeah,
On the
it's everywhere. She just needs the string, and that's it.
If I ever find her address, I will send her yarn.
Yarn.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because, I mean, regular string might be a little bit thin to show up on the camera.
Hmm.
There was something else that I was going through my pictures. You see it's coming up from below. It is
Gotta check your
we can watch it because it's whatever that was.
What is that?
Again.
Is it an artifact? This looks like an artifact. Yeah. This doesn't look real.
I would think that is actually real. And so the artifact that you're talking about, that
is the line.
The line is probably what we call blooming.
Yeah.
So it would be a CCD artifact. So the line isn't real, but the bright dot, yes, I would imagine that's something.
Oh, that might be a star?
I think it moves. It could be. Could be.
That happened there.
Depends on how fast it moves.
We can watch it because it's whatever that was that happened there. But you can see it. It's going to be coming up.
Well, it would move though, right? Because the sun, the sun, the earth, Soho, all of it is moving with respect to each other. So over the course of several minutes, which I assume that it takes, like, how long do you think, maybe they travel at different speeds, but how long does it take for
It doesn't look
this
like a
to happen?
Oh well, we also need to know what frame rate she's looking, or what is this real time?
Yeah, well, but if it's
But
just like
yes, it's
just
very
a
quick.
coronal mass ejection, how long does it take to go out a couple solar radii?
Uh, well, like I said, it takes 3 days to get to us, so
Yeah, so
it's fairly rapid, but I don't know if it's that rapid. Like I said,
it's
it might
over.
be sped up a little bit.
Yeah. I think it's sped up a little. I think this is over the course of minutes.
Okay.
That's being but not. But I don't think it's definitely not over the course of days,
No.
and I don't think it's over the course of hours. I think an hour would be far too long, but
Yeah.
10 seconds would be probably too short.
I don't know. That's my intuition. So,
Okay.
um,
art. Let me look.
Oh, real quick,
It's
real
coming up from
quick.
below. It is
Hey,
I,
hello.
I was
hello.
trying.
I know you see this at the bottom. You know what, Vandalia? Vandy just doesn't love you the way I do.
Maya,
For $5, Vandalia 1998 says, still don't know why Maya is the only channel that the join options doesn't appear for me, but all the other channels have that option for me.
Hmm.
Gasp. What did you do?
Hmm.
that is weird, actually. That's super weird. That's amazing. You have to use that one more often.
we can watch it because it's whatever that was that happened there.
So
But
yeah,
we can
down
see it. It's
there
going to
you
be
can
coming up
see
from below.
the time is very much sped up. I think.
Yeah. I don't know how far I just went back.
I was going through my pictures.
Yeah, okay. I think those are minutes that were just
Yeah.
going by. So this is frame by frame. And like that right there is one frame. And I think that's 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And so you see this thing. So yeah, maybe it's probably on the order of about a minute or so, roughly, something like that.
Pictures.
buy
You
that.
see, it's coming up from below. It is. We can watch it because
Gina, it's actually, when you figure out how to do it, a lot easier to just screen capture instead of using your phone to record your computer.
Yeah, but
You know who else has an issue with that and would therefore make an excellent romantic partner, Gina?
I have heard he is very fond of quills.
Extremely.
Not only that, but like I love his camera reception, I guess.
Yeah,
Like he'll
the,
like
his,
yeah, he'll just, take a picture of like, rather than like do the
he,
picture
take,
in picture. Yeah. He'll just like
he takes a picture of his screen
right.
and then he'll do another presentation later where now he's taking a picture of his previous
Oh
presentation.
yeah, I've
And
seen
so
that.
you'll get the nested stuff, but it's not nested as a screen cap. Because like if I just did a screen cap of my entire screen and I did that twice in a row, you would still have that effect because you'd have all like the browser and everything nonsense. But for him, it's that plus the edge of his monitor and like all the other stuff on his desk.
Hey.
Especially that one rock that is definitely a lung, and the
Oh,
other rock that is definitely a duck.
it's definitely a duck. Or the other rock that is definitely part of a finger. Because reasons. For $5, Mark Agamotto says, what I enjoy most is teasing Vandy about anti-magnetism, just as I enjoy sending dapper pelagic tunicate emojis.
You know what?
It's just, yeah, it's just good family fun.
Do you?
I
Mhm.
am one of the few good, God-fearing, patriotic, benthic tunicate lovers on Dapper's channel. Okay, pelagic tunicates are evil and they do not deserve rights.
Oh, God. Suck
Huh.
up.
It just occurred to me Do you guys think that Roger is slowly collecting rock body parts to create Mrs.
A
Roger?
golem.
A golem or a kind of
Ooh.
Frankenstein rock monster? Because I mean, he's got a foot, he's got part of a finger. Who knows what else he's got back there?
He's got a lot of vaginas, but I think he's using them.
Yeah. Well,
Man, that must chafe. I don't know. Yeah.
It's whatever that was that happened there, but you can see it. It's going to be coming up from below. Get over there to a little bit too close. It's coming up. It's like some kind of projectile. And when they were talking about the galactic boat people, they said that there was a projectile that would be launched toward like the Russian satellites.
Professor Parks.
galactic boat people. Is that what you said? Boat.
Whatever that was that happened there, but you can see it. It's going to be coming up from below. Get over there to a little bit too close. It's coming up. It's like some kind of projectile. And when they were talking about the galactic boat people,
Galactic boat people.
I just liked her nonchalance. Yeah, of course, galactic boat people. Are they
Um,
refugees or?
would you like to tell us more about them? I don't recall learning about them in any of my science classes.
The galactic again, NASA has provided, but
Gosh
but it
darn it.
might be that Space Force was actually created to
Hmm.
build a wall to keep out the galactic boat people.
Hmm.
I
Interesting.
but I could not confirm that. I could not confirm that because the galaxy is sending us. Okay, I won't get political.
Yeah, I tried to throw it into Google and it was like, do you mean anything else?
Yeah, I don't want to get political either, but the galaxy is not sending us their best.
Yeah.
they said that there was
The Greys. They're sending us the Greys, not the reptilians.
Indeed.
The
Indeed.
reptilians are the prize big brain galaxy people.
a projectile that would be launched toward like the Russian satellites, the Phobos 1 and 2, and also the Mars lander or something like that. Just like a small projectile thing, and it just like poof, did something to them. Look at that. I don't think that's just an asteroid or a comet because it was moving really fast, and they always curving toward the sun. They're coming from somewhere, and they gain momentum.
They do that too.
It's like the Elenin, how the Elenin came around that time.
The Elenin?
What is the Elenin? Do you have any idea what that is? I've never heard that word before in my life.
London.
Oh,
Google,
okay.
tell me.
I don't think this is. She said Elenin people, right?
No, just the Elenin.
The Elenin.
It's like the Elenin, how the Elenin came around that time.
Okay.
Like how the Elenin came around that time. I know that like the people that are watching can't see it because that part of the screen is cut off. Because thanks for the vertical shot, Gina. But
Yeah, Google is stuck. Nobody in the chat has come across this particular strain of crazy.
it is.
Bree?
I mean, Bree's come across.
I mean, because like my first thing is like, okay, I'm going to put this in here. And like both times I'm like, I don't know if I'm spelling this correctly.
It's melanin without the M, I think, basically.
The melanin people? Thanks, Tap.
But without the M. Without the M. I was just giving that as, I think, but I actually...
That's what Google wanted me to think, or was trying to get me to type in.
Well, Google generally...
Oh, yeah, it was the first thing. It was like, I'm sure you mean the melanin people. Because that's the thing. It's not, I mean, because,
Man,
despite as white as Vandy is, he actually does produce melanin.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Just in insanely low concentrations.
Very low. That's why I look so pink all the time. No, that's actually because I just have put negative effort into appearing proper.
This is just weird. So I chose the next. So it said melanin. I just put in elenin. The next one is melanin. The next one is elenin yan or something, and yeah, it looks like birth control pills.
Nice.
It
So
Um,
sounds like a drug name.
so Mark Akamoto is saying that there's a comet Elenin. Does that ring a bell?
nope. Comet.
Oh yeah, Comet C 2010 times one X1 is an Oort cloud comet discovered by Russian amateur astronomer
Ah.
Leonid Elenin. Oh, what's the last name? The
Hmm.
Elenin people, those pesky Elenins and McCoys.
Okay. So yeah, that Oort cloud simply means that it's a very long period comet.
Possibly, like viewer cloud is like we've never directly observed any stuff in the Oort cloud, but like it
Correct.
makes
Or an
sense that
Oort
it.
cloud at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is one of the
Um.
few things that is correct that has come out of Matt Powell's face.
Okay.
Well,
Wow.
yeah. I mean,
Very,
I
very
don't,
few things.
I personally don't believe in a Oort cloud just because, like, I need a little more evidence before I believe things. I understand the theory behind it. It just feels like
It.
there's a lot of things that we can see that are supposedly further than that. I just feel like it would
Yes, but not.
obstruct
There
some
are
shit
there are there are no things that we see that are both further than that. Well, it's very low
and
density,
as
Maya,
small. Yeah, sure.
and as
I hear
dim.
that a lot. I
And as
just
dim.
you're not changing my mind on this. But I don't like go out of my way to promote like you shouldn't believe this either because like this is like a really big thing that evangelicals do
Hmm.
to try to convince their congregations that science is false. So I'm not putting myself in with that batch of bastards.
The I think basically viewer cloud is basically just generally it refers to the presumed spherical cloud of stuff that
Hmm.
is within the like sun's gravitational pull kind of at all,
Hmm.
Yeah.
but is not part of any of the stuff that we see, and it's not disc shaped. It's spherical.
Right,
It
it's
hasn't
spherical. Yeah.
because it's so dilute that it
Hmm.
hasn't had time to collide
Right.
and equilibrate into a disc. Like the Kuiper belt is
Is it?
Yeah.
puffier, but it's a
Yeah.
disc.
So,
Yeah.
the thing with the Oort cloud, and this is the thing with skepticism, is that if you want to be skeptical about certain things, that's great. But if you want to make the claim that it does not exist, then you
Hmm.
need to come up with a reason for the observational evidence that we have. Oort cloud comets, they have
Yeah,
extremely elliptical orbits.
Hmm.
They are composed
but not
of slightly
hyperbolic.
different material. They have inclinations that are significantly different than the Kuiper belt objects. So if you can come up with an idea that explains all that, groovy. But
No, I'm not going to believe something just because I can't prove that it doesn't exist. Like or that, that there's not something else that's better. I don't see any evidence for it. Like I don't
okay,
understand why. I do believe that there are obviously rocks within the sun's gravitational field that come into within the solar system or the inner solar system, whatever. Um, I don't know that it necessarily has to be like this cloud of things that are, however many AU away from the sun. I don't know why it can't just be a bunch of shit that's within, varying amounts of,
Well,
that
I
gets
I
jolted
guess
into, like why
I
it has to be a cohesive unit of things.
Oh, it's not cohesive in any sense other than it's stuff within the gravitational influence. Like the
Hmm.
thing that that is what it is. So if you think that there's stuff within the gravitational influence that's sort of like dilute and it's
Yeah, but like the Oort cloud, like I don't know, like every time I look into it, it's like, it's between this many AU and this many AU. And I'm just like, I kind of reject that. I just think
okay,
that within the
okay.
field of the sun's gravitational pull, there's a bunch of shit. And sometimes it gets jolted into,
Yeah.
circling.
well,
And
isn't
I
that
don't.
kind of what the Oort cloud is?
Yeah,
No,
that's right.
it's
Yeah, it
it,
is.
it's
I mean,
It
so the
is.
Oort cloud is
It,
thought to be a collection of
so the
millions
Oort
upon
cloud is
millions of.
everything within the sun's gravitational field, because
it's all
that's
the
what I'm
stuff that's
saying.
it's the stuff that you classify it as an Oort cloud object if it's far enough away that it doesn't fall into any of the other categories. Then yes, essentially it is that, Maya.
So
And
the
so I
the
think
so the
I'm
Oort cloud,
skeptical.
the Oort, well, that's good, and I'm not being facetious, or I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything. Skepticism is a good thing, particularly in science. There are a lot of things in science that I am, particularly in cosmology and
yep.
early universe stuff, that I'm pretty skeptical on. But I have come to accept that we need a starting point. We need
Hmm.
some kind of idea of what's going on, which we can then evolve over time. And right now, with the Oort cloud, because of the high eccentricities of these objects, we know that they spend a long period of time at a certain distance because we can calculate the orbit to a reasonably good accuracy.
Yeah, yeah.
So they, and because the inclinations are all over the place,
Hmm.
is something of a spherical distribution. Now, how many of them are there? We don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
What the range, the true range of the size of this cloud, we don't know. Why they come into the inner solar system, we suspect that it's stars or something that is beyond the solar system that is gravitationally fucking with it and then throwing things in. Presumably, things would get thrown out as well.
Hmm.
So, yeah, there are a lot of open questions about the Oort cloud, but we do know there are some objects that do spend a good amount of time at a certain distance away from the sun. So,
But
Yeah, I mean, I think there are things within every range of the sun's gravitational
yeah,
field.
but yeah, but these ones are it's a class of objects
Hmm.
that are bound, and we've observed. I'm only familiar with one example of a of an object that we actually saw inside the solar system that had a hyperbolic orbit. I only know of one, which is, yeah, I think there's two. Is
there was the scout ship, and then there was a mothership, or at least that's what I think.
uh, Oumuamua is the one that people will have heard of.
Which
And
is literally Hawaiian for scout.
wow, yeah, okay. NASA, you guys need to you need to.
Oh, that was our way
And
of throwing a bone to the native Hawaiians because we keep stealing their building telescopes on their sacred mountain. So we're like, we'll name a comet after you. That should shut you up. Um, so, but yeah, Oumuamua was a comet that was hyperbolic. Ari Loeb, the former uh, department chair of Harvard, is convinced it's an alien
oh,
spacecraft.
Avi Loeb.
Avi Loeb, yeah, is convinced that it's a alien spacecraft. And then about a year later, there was an asteroid, a rocky, or a was that the? I might have that flipped. Oumuamua
Oumuamua was rocky. I don't
was
think it was
rocky,
a
was the
comet. Yeah, it
asteroid,
didn't
and
have a
then
tail.
a year later there was a comet which is hyperbolic, but they were in no way in the same part of the sky. So
But
we do know
we
of
have seen two of those.
yeah.
We've seen a lot of things. Hail Bob is one of the more photogenic examples of extremely long period. It might be short enough period because I think its period is like 1,000 years or something.
Somewhat.
That it's, but I don't know what its eccentricity was. If its eccentricity was not eccentricity, what's the angle? What's
Inclination.
the inclination? I don't remember what the inclination of it was. If that could be consistent with a a Kuiper belt object where you things have sort of settled into a disk, but
It's actually pretty in the disk. It's 89.3.
is it okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because a
pretty.
1,000 years is still fairly short period. The thing about Oort cloud is it extends far enough that things can get yanked out by other stars. It's a kind of a shade of things.
Oh, no,
Anyway,
it's all right. It's all
we
right.
don't.
They do inclination differently than we do in binaries and exoplanets. According to Wikipedia, actually, this would be perpendicular to the ecliptic plane. So no, it is not within the disk at all.
Okay.
Oh
So,
God.
so
Um,
if I
wait.
may
I'm
allowed to
sorry. Go
geek
ahead.
out a little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
please. We love
Well,
that.
please go with the super chat first.
I think it might take you off your rant. Are you sure?
No,
I think it's
I
very
was
on
going to
topic.
explain sort of from a formation mechanism where the
Okay.
Oort cloud may have come from. But
Cool. For $5, Vandalia 1998 says, I guess I assumed the Voyager probes had reached the Oort cloud by now, and we had photos of it.
no,
Too dim.
too dim and too sparse.
Yeah.
One of the things that we can blame Star Wars for is that the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid belt are very good.
Very
Asteroids,
good.
the
Just
asteroids
close your
on
eyes and
average,
go.
yeah, asteroids on average are kilometers apart. There's
Right.
you could Al could drive
The
his truck easily through them.
Yes,
Um,
the mass, the mass, the sum total of the mass of the asteroid belt, I think is like a half of Mars or something,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's really small.
and
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 so the
probably
Oort
like
cloud
half of that is in Ceres.
yeah, and the Oort cloud is more than likely more rarefied than that. But
Yeah.
again, hypothetical.
Oh.
So my field of expertise is young stellar objects, or basically protostars. So let's see if I can do this quickly. You take a cloud of gas, it's slightly rotating. It's denser in the center. Gravity is going to cause the stuff at the center to uh, collapse faster than the stuff on the outside. As the stuff in the center collapses, angular momentum is going to cause it to spin faster. That
Like
is the very
ticket
core
speed.
of that is going to become a protostar. The cloud that is beyond that, when it spins faster, forms a disk. That's where we come in. That's where the Kuiper Belt is formed. Then there's an envelope that's still hanging out, and that is or that is slowly collapsing. And then within that, it is believed that the Oort cloud objects sort of coalesce. Uh, what's the word I would look for? Yeah, coalesce. They
They
aggregate.
chunk
Basically,
up.
became planetesimals and stuff like that. So
They stick together when they collide because they collide generally at fairly low because they're just kind of drifting.
yeah, so they're low energy uh, collisions, so that's enough energy to make them molten, and then they basically glom together, weld together, and then they cool off, and then they slam into something else. This process is how planets basically form anyway in the disk, or at least that's what we believe it to be. Is that you
And
form dust grains, they electrostatically slam into each other until the grain is
yeah,
electrically neutral. Then gravity takes over, slams these dust grains into each other, creating larger and larger aggregate particles until you get to planetesimals. And then, if you're lucky enough, you can get into even larger, and become planets. So,
there is a gap there between where the electrostatic interactions, like very light particles, they just stick together because that's what particles do. There's like van der Waals forces and all sorts of things like that, like the reason geckos can climb up walls and stuff like that.
hmm,
Um, and then when you get to planetesimals that are actually big enough that the gravity is relevant, we understand all both of those limits pretty well. There is a fair amount of uncertainty in the middle region, but like when if you have like a boulder, when boulders like hit each other and coalesce, we're still working out exactly the details of that because it's a little bit less clear as the sort of weird transition regions of physics so often are.
yeah.
That's my understanding, at least.
But no, Maya, you're it's perfectly reasonable for you to be skeptical of the Oort cloud in that it has not been fully observed. With the only observations we have are based on long period comets that have come close enough that we can actually see them. Uh, Pretty much, it's a very theoretical construct that is consistent with observations and consistent with the overall model that describes the formation of the solar system. But
Yeah, and when I look at like the paths of long period comets, they're not. It's not like they're all like within this same distance. They're
Oh,
varying
it's not.
distances, and I understand
Yeah.
that you jolt something out of its orbit, it can change
Mhm.
its
It's not.
original, but
It's
I don't
not
know.
a.
I
It's not a
understand that the
shell.
cosmos is under no, wait, it has no obligation to make sense
obligation,
to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
But, something making sense to me is under an obligation to make sense to me, and I have the right
That's
to
true.
reject things that don't make sense to me.
Sure.
Fair enough. Anyway,
I mean,
Which
Not
some
preaching
people
it,
thought it was
not
something.
saying that you have to believe this before you die.
the thing that
Just
I
saying I'm not convinced.
Maya and I
that's fair. And the thing that I emphasize, and honestly, it's because of flat Earth and science skepticism that I actually went into this and thought a lot more about it. Is that I constantly remind my students, this is all provisional. Some of it is more provisional than others, but it's all provisional. It's all subject to change because our knowledge of the universe is very incomplete. And I think if anyone tries to tell you otherwise, they're either lying or trying to sell you something. So it could very well be that the Oort cloud isn't what we think it is. So yeah, skepticism is
Different.
definitely a necessary quality for a scientist.
Yeah, definitely. And if we're ever going to figure out where all the comments are coming from, it's going to be needed.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
aliens is the answer, of course.
It's always the answer.
Galactic
Yeah.
boat people.
Galactic boat people.
They're all spaceships. God, it's like it's your first day here.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they said it disappeared, but it never really disappeared. It never did dissolve. Let me flip this back around. Hello.
Dissolve
Hi.
into
If you're
what?
just tuning in, welcome.
Into
This
the
is
sun?
look at this right here. This is this used to have it. If this is a planet, then
Oh.
why is it
planet.
split in two like
If
that?
it's a
You have to
planet,
ask yourself.
It's
what
not.
planet would it be?
Mercury, maybe? If it's on the far side of its orbit?
Mercury split in two?
No.
Did I miss a meeting?
No.
So everything about these sharp edges screams artifact to me.
Yes.
Everything about those sharp edges screams that. I've never seen something like this.
Well, it's giving
This
Gina
is
planet.
Apparently. Okay.
This is blooming. The
Oh,
horizontal
cool.
line, that's blooming. Blooming, by the way, it's an effect on when you've got a camera. It has a bunch of pixels. Those pixels, photons hit them, and they put a bunch of electrons into a bucket. And on some types of cameras, those buckets are arranged in rows, and when you get too many electrons that fill up a bucket, they spill into the adjacent buckets. But they don't spill into the adjacent row. That's what blooming is. So
I'm so glad you explained that because I forgot to ask you to do that. For some people who don't understand.
The walls of the CC or the camera, the pixels, the walls of the pixels are higher this way than they are this way.
Exactly. So you're able to. It's like a row. It's kind of like. I don't need to keep explaining.
Do you know who got the Nobel Prize for figuring out the basic effect that powers that?
The basic effect of a photon exciting an electron?
That would be knocking off a electron so that it could be captured by
a CCD, because the CCD won a Nobel Prize, but I don't know who won that Nobel Prize. But what you're describing fundamentally is the photoelectric effect, and that was Albert Einstein.
Correct.
Albert Einstein, his Nobel Prize, he only won one. In my opinion, he deserved 4. But he won it for the photoelectric effect, which is showing that light energy comes in discrete chunks.
Yep.
He did not win it for.
He did not win it for relativity.
For either of the relativities.
Yeah,
if anybody else had done special relativity alone or general relativity alone, they would have won it.
Yeah.
And I also think that he probably could have won it for Brownian motion, in my opinion. Even though, frankly, chemists knew that atomic theory was correct way before physicists did.
Oh, crap. I missed.
Al.
Oh, Al is here, yes.
Al is
and
here.
I missed a super chat somewhere.
How dare you?
Which apparently was above the one that Vandalia sent. And here it is. So I apologize, Mark, for missing that. So Professor Parks, about wet towel. Even a stop clock is right twice a day. And he's
really
referring
don't
to
like
your Matt Powell comment 20 minutes ago.
I really don't.
I mean, I do like bananas. Not as much as he does, but you know.
Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. If this was a planet, how
Also, blooming doesn't stop and then shift to another row. Like, this
Yeah,
is clearly a weird, screwed up combination of random images. This is nonsense.
yeah.
Whatever's on screen is nonsense.
I'm
It's a
wondering if
glitch.
it's the way that the screen is updating because it's so fast. Because obviously it's time lapse and it's accelerated or it's been sped up. So I'm wondering
Yeah,
if there's some kind of weird overlapping. I don't know.
could be. Could be.
Yeah,
on Earth
it's got to be how the one image is being overlaid onto the other. I think there has to be some kind of residual image from the previous one.
This is the sort of thing that, like, if I saw an image like this and I couldn't take the data again, which I normally can because I have a lab and I can, like, run the same thing over again. Astronomers can't. Astronomers, they get the one shot from maybe a variety of different instruments, but I would show this at a group meeting, and then the next meeting I would show, like, the one where I had processed the data and, like, figured out how to actually stitch it together properly.
Fair.
Or
This
I would
is
just take
good.
it again.
This is good album art though. Like for a record,
Yeah.
I'd use it.
did it get split in two?
No.
No,
Because it don't look like a planet, but I'm sure they dubbed this as a planet at that time.
nope,
It's a ship. It's like
nope.
it's
It's a
like
ship.
two ships.
Two
Right.
ships.
Two ships.
Oh,
Why are you like this?
I just love
two
it when
ships.
I know it's not two twin something going through there. I wanted to go to that timestamp. I wanted to go to that particular video where that was happening. Oh, look at this! Like
Two
there's invisible cubes
ships.
up there also.
Uh-huh.
That right there also looks like
Is that a
an
UFO?
artifact.
Like it
No,
looks
that-
like a Jetsons spaceship. It's got a
Hmm.
little dome on it. No, I don't know.
It's like a
Really?
staircase. It's like,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
oh wait, no, hold on.
Staircase to heaven. Yeah.
Look what else we're
Hey.
seeing, you guys. Look at her cursor.
Okay. It's a
You've
hand.
got
Is that
the
her
hand,
cursor? Oh, it's a hand.
and
Okay.
then you've got the other one. So clearly Gina has
Twins.
multiple cursor personalities. And there is a main Gina
No, that
and a
checks.
demonic secret Gina, and they're fighting for control. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm
That's right.
following.
Because there's no way that this is just like the slowly fading away shadow of a previous frame.
No,
That would
no,
be
no, no.
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That definitely.
That
checks.
never happens.
See, he's checking his notes and everything.
Checking my
Thank
notes.
God we have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It checks out.
Science is hard.
Mm-hmm.
There's like invisible cubes by the sun. This was on the timestamp. This is back February of 2020, 25 or 22. Do you know that doesn't matter? Yeah, it does matter because if they're saying
No, it was not 2025, Maya. Not Maya. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Wow.
They are very
Hey.
similar. I can see why you would have confused those two.
They're four-letter words.
Mm-hmm.
Gina,
Yep.
Maya.
Yep.
They both end in A. They have two vowels.
One of them is in common. Yes. Yeah. One out of
Yeah.
4 ain't bad.
Oh,
I think
God.
that's a Meatloaf song.
it's planets, then there's something else going on. There really is. Yeah. Stargates, they could be very well could be stargates. I want to go over there to that timestamp. I really do. I want to go back to 2022.
I'd
Is
love to
what
go back
I would like to go back to and look at. I think it was
Good year.
February. What was that? The timestamp? February. I'm going to go to February of 2022 to see what happened back there because I really surely think that they called it a planet, and I really don't believe it was a planet at all. February the 25th of 2022, and I want to push the apply button. It's
And of
gonna
course-
bring it up, y'all. It's just gonna take a while.
What?
Who is
Hold
they?
on. What is this software that she's using?
That's what I was trying to
That's-
figure out. Like,
Yeah,
where
I was
is she?
wondering about that myself.
Because it doesn't look like you could just. It doesn't look like she just went to a website. It looks like this is software that's running on her computer.
Okay.
Because there are different windows and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Kinda like
that
Chris
would
Wood there.
require her to successfully download software designed for looking at scientific data and then to additionally successfully download the data.
Well, I mean, these could be MP4s, so this could be like a QuickTime player.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
She
So,
does
Even that,
like she
though,
does like doing that.
yeah, but this is a person who is showing the video from her phone pointed at the screen instead of just doing a screen cap, and it's vertical format, people. Okay, this is a level of technological sophistication that should be incapable of downloading an MP4. All I'm saying.
She does have a lot of followers, though. Maybe
That's
they
true.
walked her through it.
True.
Or yeah,
And
that's
is
true.
they in this situation NASA?
Probably.
She keeps saying
Probably.
they think it's a planet. I'm like, ooh, that's a nice twist of
Probably.
they being NASA.
They meaning Gina and her followers do hate NASA.
Mm-hmm. Well, who doesn't really?
I mean,
Look
please
at that
keep
logo.
signing my checks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Please.
yeah.
The 25th of 2022, and I want to push the apply button. It's gonna bring it up, y'all. It's just gonna take a while. Thank you for all the comments. I haven't read it all. Oopsie, haven't read all the comments under the short videos at all, but thank you very much. How you feel about all of that, Gina? It doesn't bother me. I mean, it bothered me about that much a while back, like last year. It kind of bothered me. Kind of bothered me a few months ago.
What
I
bothers
really
her?
hope that. I
What
really hope that
what are they saying should bother her? I missed something.
I'm thinking
probably
of,
people like us.
Oh.
I thought she was talking about the space battle, and if the space battle is
Oh.
not bothering her anymore, I don't know. What are her
Okay.
priorities?
I mean, I thought she was talking about like the online haters, and
No. I mean, probably the same answer, but I don't think they're asking her about that.
because she's talking about all the
Oh, read
comments
all
on
the
her video.
comments of the videos.
No, she said that I read your comments in the videos.
Oh yeah, okay.
And how I
And
feel
people
about
were
all
I thought that's what she was responding to. Like people were asking how she felt about it. Like the comments, or not the comments,
that.
but in the comments, that's what they were asking her, is how she felt about it.
Yeah.
It's so helpful that the commenters have no idea what the antecedent of the word "it" is when they type it.
Yeah.
So he's like, gotta let it sink in, and then I thought, nope, I'm not. It's not my time to go. I gotta be around till 2029. I gotta see the Apophis. I'm gonna be around to see Apophis, that asteroid or whatever it is thing that's coming. The change of civilization. I'm gonna be around for Apophis.
Okay, stop.
All right.
So she was worried about. I think she is worried about the space battle. But she
Yes,
thinks she's going to survive it.
right.
So that
Because she wants, she believes, but she definitely wants to stay around for 2029 for the Apophis. And we have for those of you who, there might be a fair number of people who know what we're talking about. But for those of you who don't, we did bring a video to kind of explain what she's talking about. Take it away.
As Halloween's on the way, here's the
Halloween is almost on the way, actually. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, technically,
Terrifying.
Halloween is always on the way.
technically.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it's far
but
away. Sometimes it's close, but it's always on the way.
It's shut up with your appreciation of how periodic functions work.
I mean, if Halloween was not on the way, I would be concerned. I would be very
That's true. That's true. That would be bad.
Home Dead, yes. The
Yes,
world
exactly.
is possibly ending. More of a great reset. So I don't know. Grab a girl and start to procreate. I don't know what to tell you.
What is
I'm sorry. Let's go.
Great reset? I mean, what does that even mean? Like, do
Well,
we get a do-over? Like,
yes, but just with stupid people this time.
Oh, all right.
As Halloween's on the way, here's the terrifying tale of the asteroid Apophis. Right now, the Osiris spacecraft is on its way to study it up close. But back in 2004, this asteroid was in the news for a very different reason. Astronomers had just discovered that this colossal space rock was on a collision course for Earth. And the date of impact? Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
All right. So, as we know, because a banana would be too small and a football field would also be a little bit too small, they have to compare it to the Eiffel Tower or the Empire State Building. because those are the things that you compare asteroids to.
Obviously.
You know,
Obviously.
Not Big
and
Bang or Big
and
Bang, but
and also, I'd like to
Way to
say
study it
that
up close. But back in 2000,
back in 2004,
Hmm.
that's where he's getting the numbers that he's going to say from.
Okay.
that this colossal space rock was on a collision course for Earth, and the date of impact?
dun dun dun.
Friday the 13th. Now don't
What
worry,
year?
this possibility was eventually ruled out. But it was several more years until another possible impact in 2036 was proven to be unlikely. And it was just 2 years ago that NASA finally ruled out an impact in our lifetimes. But it's going to come spookily close. In 2029, the asteroid is going to pass by Earth 10 times closer than the Moon. That means it'll be closer than many of our satellites.
We checked this.
We did.
We before the show started, we actually checked because we were like closer than satellites. Like that seems unlikely. And the thing is, it depends on which satellites. Your typical satellite that you look up in the sky and see with your eyes that is like crossing,
Hmm.
not those. Those are low Earth orbit satellites. They
Yeah, I was
orbit.
wondering. I was like, we would probably try to shoot it out of the sky if it were closer than those, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
and
would
we
be
could
way
do,
too close.
and it would be too close, and we could do it.
Yeah,
Also,
right.
that it's small enough that if we needed to, we would be able to hit this guy out of the sky or do something about it. Okay, it's when it gets 100 times bigger than this that becomes really problematic.
Right, right.
Like, but
But
something that
no,
is
no worries here.
yeah. Also, it's not going to hit us, but it is going to come. It's going to come. I think within 31 or so thousand kilometers, according to some number that I remember seeing when we were looking this up. That
Well,
is actually closer than geostationary satellites. So if you're at a certain
oh.
orbit,
So it's
then
close enough to hit those out of the sky.
yeah.
Oh,
And
well, that's
if
fucked.
it does, that would be hilarious and awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool.
So long as it's not the one that we are putting, George Mason is
Yeah.
putting into space.
Yeah,
Well,
well, yeah, we don't want
Orlando
like people in
satellite.
any of them
Yeah.
you should like
unless the people are
check.
billionaires. In which case,
Well,
I
hold on.
don't advocate violence. But if I did,
There's probably a billionaire involved somewhere along the way in like any satellite that they could put in
what
space
are
at
they
this
like
point.
sitting in the spaceship? Because we might want to rethink this whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I don't want
Elon
anybody
wants to die on Mars, and I'm okay with that.
No, no.
So
We would never advocate for violence.
Nope. Despite some
But if
people
we
really, really wanting me to advocate for violence.
right.
I'm just saying,
It'll be visible.
sometimes billionaires, implode underwater or get shot out of the sky by asteroids. And is
Oh
it anybody's
God.
fault, really?
Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah, theirs. Yeah.
It's their own fault.
No, we can't victim blame.
We would never advocate for violence.
No.
You can
We do
can
not do
literally
that on the
victim
show.
blame when somebody if somebody puts themselves in a cardboard box and tries to survive going over Niagara Falls in a cardboard box and they die, that's their fault.
It's totally their fault. And we would never advocate for that.
No.
But I mean, if they wanted to put themselves in that situation, it would make the news. We might talk about it.
Oh yeah.
There,
That's
We're
what I'm
talking about
saying.
it.
so
And then of
far,
course there'd be people who would deny that it existed, that it happened, that it was all
so far, the flat Earth conspiracy movement has one fatality associated with it that I know of.
There is
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Oh my God.
whatever
The
guy.
guy who
That was
built a
horrible.
steam rocket,
Yeah, that was.
and
Oh,
then the
shit.
parachute failed when he launched himself 5,000 feet or something into the air,
Mhm.
which
It
was
was
pretty
horrible.
impressive.
It was
But-
horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible.
The unaided eye. So we'll be able to witness this incredible cosmic meeting with Apophis.
Man, I
safe in
hope
the
it
knowledge
hits the
that it won't be
satellite,
getting any closer.
but not yours.
Maybe Friday 13th isn't unlucky after all.
I mean, you're describing a giant space rock hurtling towards us at untold speeds. It seems a little unlucky.
I also kind of doubt the precision of Friday
Yeah,
the
yeah.
13th. Uh, but
Well,
sure, why not? Because right
that
now, the most recent paper is saying that it will come in, that'll come by somewhere. Oh, no, sorry. Reading the wrong thing. Anyway, yeah, I highly doubt that, though.
they'll get more and more precise. Like by the time, so this is in 2029. When it happens, this, astronomers are going to know within a very small margin of error. I don't know how big. Maybe it'll be a couple of kilometers, which would still be pretty small at that distance.
Yeah.
But they will know very, very well before it goes through its closest approach exactly where it's going to go. And then after it passes, we'll be able to tell how close it comes next time. It turns out that we probably do have to wait until it passes to figure out exactly how close it'll come next time, because if it does come a kilometer closer than we sort of think, that will actually throw off the predictions 6 years later by enough that we wouldn't have the same precision, which is why you have to, like, these are chaotic systems. If you change the initial conditions a little bit and then you just calculate and calculate and calculate and calculate and calculate, eventually you're just going to get whatever. And
Yeah.
if you change by 1 decimal point at the very last digit of precision and do the same thing, it's totally different. But
The paper I'm
like,
looking at actually is Apophis may actually, who knows, because it may actually encounter 4544 Xanthus, which is another asteroid, in December of 2026, and so it might
ah,
alter its orbit so that we all die. Who knows? Who knows?
we won't
Oh,
all die. We
So,
will not. To be clear, if this thing has a direct collision course to your house after it goes by this close approach with the other thing, and we narrow it down and we narrow it down, and it's a direct collision course to your house, you're 99% likely to survive. You're going to be fine because we will be able to stop it.
yeah.
It's small enough that we will be able to stop it. It
okay,
really
fair enough,
it
fair enough.
is.
But
I think it is.
Gina's Facebook group said that there would be a great reset.
Okay.
Um,
So I'm still curious or still confused as to what's exactly getting reset. Like,
oh,
Society.
yeah, yeah. It's
so,
So you know how the Younger Dryas, there was a giant impact that happened because of our Lord and Savior Graham Hancock?
oh,
We know that because of our Lord and Savior Graham Hancock, not because he did it.
oh yeah.
I don't want to get don't at me,
I was,
Graham
I was,
Hancock. Actually, no, totally at me. We will have you on the show. I will pay you to come on the show. Anyway, it's fine.
I believe he would like personally finance that.
to a
Actually,
degree, I probably can't afford him.
actually, the last time we were on, you weren't, well, when Professor Parks came on, Doc Dino, Bree and Doc Dino were on, and we were looking at a Roger video where Roger decided that asteroid Bennu was an IRL heart in space.
heart. Yeah.
And yeah, that was fun. And Doc Dino asked me if I had ever met Roger. I said no, but the weasel is trying to make that happen. And Professor Parks insisted on being in that stream.
Oh yes.
Very well.
Oh yeah.
Very well. I feel like okay, so that you are demanding it. I feel like probably Grayson would demand it. It seems like the
Yeah,
sort of
Bill
thing he would require.
Grayson might like never talk to us again if he's not invited to that stream.
Well, if we're talking about inviting Roger, then we have to invite Gina.
Yeah, and set him up.
Set him up.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a lot of crazy in one stream. I don't know how we like keep that train on the rails. Like that
By
might have to
just
be separate.
with a
But
lot
do
of
we
coke,
want to
Maya.
keep it on the rails? That's the question. I mean,
Just all the
just
coke.
let it go and just see what the magic happens.
Yeah.
Because
What I'm going to do. What's really cool about that, even on the Facebook, people are putting in
On the
their
Facebook.
And in the comment section, people are putting in natural remedies for things, and I think that's absolutely great. Natural remedies and stuff, because you may have to have your own natural remedies for all kinds of things. So you might as well get used to doing it right now. Okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you're gonna
Okay,
have to
here
get
it's coming on.
used to having your own natural remedies because society will have been blotted out and you will
Yeah,
no longer have access to medication.
yeah,
So she's advocating for natural remedies over medications right now because
Sure.
she's anti-vax, probably.
I
sure, that makes sense.
Oh man, I thought that was like a actual beaker.
And I just want to take
Oh
these
no,
2 seconds
Malcolm.
to say,
it's just a
if
graduated
if
mask,
you are going through an illness, please speak with a medical professional and
including
follow
mental
their,
illness.
yeah,
Yes,
follow their advice. Don't follow, your trusted friend in a mommy blog. They're not your friends.
Yeah, and really, like seriously, like there's a lot of a if you're going through something and you're like, oh no, this is like my fault, like it doesn't fucking matter whose fault it is if you can make things better, and it's almost certainly not your fault. Like that's generally, especially with mental illness, people are extremely hard on themselves about things, and I have gone through episodes where I had a lot like I was just constantly focused on how much of a disappointment I was and how much I was bad at my job and I should be better at doing the stuff that I was doing. And then I got into therapy with like a good therapist, and bad therapists exist.
oh
So
yes,
I
Yes.
say this.
oh yes,
And they of all of the places where being really bad at your job can be
really bad.
horribly destructive, that's a bad place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And for the first 6 months that we were seeing each other 2 times a week, 2 hours a week, because I needed it, she was like, yo, let's bring in the facts. Has anybody ever told you that they're disappointed in the work you're doing?
hmm
Has anybody ever said you really need to step up your game? And I was like, well, no, but they're all really nice.
yeah.
And
It sucks when therapists actually want evidence for
God damn it.
negative thinking. So yeah,
right? Until you realize, wait, oh, I'm thinking about this one part of my life and my like experience in a totally different and way harsher way than I think about everything else.
yep. What the cognitive distortions? That's what we like to call them.
No, yeah, we are very much like mental health affirming. There's a lot of people that have a neurodivergent brain, self included, and I advocate. I have a master's degree in psychology. I have worked for substance abuse clinics, family practices that had what do you call it, social workers in them. Right now, I'm working for a retirement community and really starting to understand like geriatric, I mean, how different they are from the normal aging process versus tertiary processes, and um how there's no such thing as normal. There's just the best version of you, and we promote that here as often as we can, certainly.
Yeah, like I said on my stream, I talk about my own mental health. I'm bipolar too, among other things. Woohoo! So yes, very much an advocate for removing mental stigma or mental illness
Yes.
stigmas and things of that nature. So
Yeah, and my biggest thing with mental stigmas, we like I well, any kind of I don't want to just say ableist, but any kind of slurs or any kind of negative anything on any group, I'm not like, we don't tolerate here. It's the one thing that'll get you booted immediately. And I I don't know. I like mental health. I don't know. It just kind of has like this like special like,
it it's all in your head,
right, because it's like
as though the
it's one of the
brain
things
isn't.
that we're like, a lot of things I think have been normalized where it's like, okay, I think we're it's like, okay, it's not bad to be black. We've gotten past a lot of the. I mean, where I know a lot of people are still racist. Totally get that, but it's not. It's no longer bad to be black. It's no longer, less than to be a girl, or even with it's not. A lot of people believe that it's a sin to be gay, but it's not.
More so.
It's
Yeah,
not a
yeah. It's
moral. Yeah, outside of that, I don't think that people really consider it a moral failing. It's just, people are starting to understand it as something you were born with. It's an attraction. It's just different from being straight. It's not worse unless you're a fundy, but
Yeah.
like as far as like general society goes, I think a lot of those things are still, but like with mental health, I think there's still this like better than or less than thing where we're still fighting for people to even see doctors,
Mhm.
because if I have a mental issue, that means that I was born wrong, and
yeah.
I don't want to admit that, or
Or
even
I'm
to
weak.
get my child treated for it, because that means that there's something wrong with me as a parent, or there's something wrong with my perfect little angel, and we're not doing the things that we need to get people where they need to be. And I'm just like, you know what, fuck that. There's, like I have moderate to severe ADHD. I really can't
Me
function
too.
without my pills. Um, and I've just, that's just who I am. And for better or worse, it's where I am. And if I have options, if I don't want to take my pills, there's certain jobs I could take. If I'm really good with attention to detail when I have my pills, and it that opens the realm of jobs that I'm able to have, and it's not a good or a bad thing insofar as like my education does that for me as well. So I mean, it's just what it is, and if we stop penalizing people for being born a certain way, or thinking that we don't deserve things because we were born a certain way, I think the better all of society will be. And yeah, I want to normalize the fuck out of that, because we're only better as a species when we're more inclusive. So yeah.
Yes.
I've seen people comment on videos before that they were told, or they were trying to figure out how to tell their child that because they were diagnosed with moderate to severe ADHD, they weren't going to be able to become a scientist. And I was like,
Bullshit.
What? Okay.
"What?"
That's no.
Every time, and every time I have seen
No.
that, every time I have seen that in a place where I have the ability to respond with a comment, I respond with like two paragraphs being like,
Fuck
yo,
that shit. Yeah.
this is my, like, fuck that shit. This is my life story as a counter example. I have a lot of ADHD. It sometimes, when, like, because when you get in the zone on something and you have ADHD, and like
Oh
you
yeah.
get into it, like you get the hyper,
Yeah, I had
it's a
yeah, like
fucking
that was an ADHD
superpower.
thing. I was like, how do you guys function at all without getting in the zone? Like it's my favorite.
Exactly. Well, they're normally, most people are able to just turn it on and like focus. We're like, people with ADHD can either turn it on and like boom, like you're locked on, or like nope, it's just not happening right
Yeah,
now.
like this task is not getting done.
The thing about telling someone that they can't be a scientist because they have ADHD, again, going back to my channel, one of the when I talk about my story about being an academic, going through PhD, I mean it sucked. It was going
Mhm.
through a PhD program is harrowing as it is. Going through a PhD program with mental illness, particularly severe mental illness, really fucking sucks. And one
Yeah,
of the things that sucks
yeah,
about it is because of the fact that there is that mental health stigma. There is that lack of even just lack of understanding. I mean, I had professors who, they weren't trying to be dicks about it. They just didn't
mhm.
understand what was going on.
Exactly.
And so,
getting better for the record.
Yeah.
I just recently went through a PhD program, and my experience was significantly better because the people are learning. It is changing. Um, I also had a really good advisor. It
So
at
do I.
like so much depends upon the quality of that individual.
Yes.
Somebody once I've heard people say, and I think it's a bit of an overreaction, but like I can't give counterexamples. The two most important people that you choose in life, if you only choose, once, um, is your spouse and your PhD advisor. In that order. The second one is much less important than the other one.
Oddly enough, I've had two in both of those categories.
I've
So
had I've had 3 in one category and 0 in the other.
shit. Wow. Yeah, my
Yeah, there
first
was a
PhD advisor didn't even come to my master's defense. So I was like, bye.
my
Um,
first PhD advisor died,
oh shit.
Oh.
and then I had co-advisors. So
Okay. But the thing with we need to be practical, and I think part of the conversation that needs to happen in terms of saying, "Oh, you can't become this," is that on the flip side of it, you can't just simply say this isn't going to be a problem for you. I mean, you're going to face that this is a what's the word I'm looking for? It is something that you're going to have to manage. It is something that you're going to have to go through that someone else is not going to go through. They're going to have a bit of an easier time of it because they do not have ADHD. Are not bipolar, and so as I mean, maybe this is too. We are not quite there yet, but society not only needs to get rid of the stigma, but we need to start building structures in place that recognize these needs and allow for them
yeah,
and allow people fairly easy access to getting the support that they need, particularly if they're going into a high stress career of any sort. So the
and
disease
most of
isn't
them are,
limiting.
frankly.
Yeah, and the disease should not be limiting. I mean, it does limit. It does place limits on us, but society should, in my opinion, particularly as a Christian, we should come together and help others to bypass those or to lift them above those hurdles. Those
Yeah, and I want to remind people that like society was set up for a certain type of person, and it sucks that we require medication for others to have to cope in the society. Um, there's, I mean, like a lot of things that we are like doing to each other. Like I said, I mean, if I could go med free. Like when I was a waitress, I didn't need my meds for that. And you would think it's like, well, you have to, keep all this stuff straight. And it's like, well, not really. Like there's things, it it's set up to where I don't really have to keep that many things straight. I All I have to do is, and there's like with the ADHD, your mind, it's hard to stay focused on one task. You don't have one task to stay focused on. So in like those kind of situations, staying keeping things in order aren't necessarily hard because you can look and see it. When things are laid out for you, it's like, okay, I have these 3 tables. I can look and clearly see them all at the same time. His water's low. I should probably go refill that. It's not that hard. They haven't ordered yet. I should probably go do it. I don't have to remember to go get the food
It's
because it's either there in the window for me to see, or if it's not, I have food runners that'll bring it out. It Being a
it's
waitress wasn't hard. I never
it's
needed
high
meds.
stimulation. It's very
Yes,
high stimulation. It
high
brings its
stimulation.
own
Yeah.
stimulation with it. It every moment, like as a I've never been on the wait staff or anything remotely similar,
Hmm.
but I feel like like the times when it's hectic are the times when like it's harder, but they're also the times when it feels hectic. It kind of feels like a crisis. ADHD is great in a crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
The hostesses used to like me because I was one of the few people who didn't feel overwhelmed. It
Yeah.
I could just kind of go in and it's like, okay, well, once you get the flow of it, once you've been a waitress long enough, it's just like, all right, I know what to do, and you just do. Yeah, because you know, it's not that hard. It's the low, like, payroll is hard as shit. You know?
Because it's tedious and it's
Starting to find that
boring.
out, yeah.
And
Right.
Starting
it's
to learn that myself, actually, yes.
oh
And
yeah.
it's not like, it's just like, okay, this person missed a punch, got to put the punch in. It's just, it's not stimulating. It's hard to, like, I have this stack of stuff that needs to go in, and my brain is saying, who's live on YouTube?
Hmm, hmm. I can't deal with tedious. If
Right,
something is repetitive and non-interesting, I just
right.
I just
Yep.
move to something else. So,
I
Or like earlier today, so there were, Dr. Kip was on last week. He was live today with Dr. Josh. I modded on both their channels, and then they were simul streaming with Dr. Bird. And I was saying to Pragmatic Crystal, she's modded at Dr. Bird's channel. She's also one of the mods here. And I was saying, hey, I'm just coming over to say hi because I knew you'd be over here and you're not going to be in either of the two streams that I'm modding, but I'm modding. And Vashanti, who's had modded Dr. Kip's channel, she's like, she could see all three because they were, I don't know what the platform is, but she could see all three. And they were restreaming through his platform, apparently. And so she saw that. She's like, oh, just go do your thumbnail for your show today because, um, I got it. And I'm like, that would be great in theory.
I know I should do that,
Right.
but
But, they're talking about things that are interesting.
yeah.
And then there's trolls that are kind of popping up in this chat and that chat. And now, like, and then it's like, oh, look, all of my friends are over here. So, like, that, where the stimulation goes, there goes my nation. So it's just,
I don't know about you. Well, one of the things that I have a hard time doing is finishing anything. Like I
yeah.
love
yeah.
starting projects, but once
Hmm.
it gets into the detail work and actually having to finalize things, I'm like, no, I know how the story is going to end. Move on to the next
Yep.
story. I'm like, ah.
I
So
am actually pretty good at getting through. It's just like with my job, get interrupted so often. Also, if I have to pass the baton, I'm fucked
no.
because trying to get re-stimulated is, I don't know. It's just like I feel like I should have already done this. Like where I'm on to something else. I want to do this now. Like why is this back?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that's really, yeah. Or I'm sorry. For $5, Mark Ragamoto said, I'm the opposite. Repetitive is easier for me. I go into auto mode.
I wish I
Eh,
could do it.
There are times I can do that if
If
I'm
I'm in
if
the
I'm
zone.
paying attention to something else. Like I can fold laundry or do something like that
Okay.
on
Yeah.
auto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if
There's got to be a
like
great stream on, though.
there's not a lot of stuff that I can do at work really on auto.
You know what's great for me? Procrastinating. If there's something more important that needs to be done,
Yeah,
hold all
I can
day. It's like,
Yep.
I'm supposed to be doing payroll, but I couldn't possibly do that with all these clothes laying around.
I do that,
Was
but
that, was the floor always this dirty?
Yeah, I
Like,
was gonna say
where's my vacuum cleaner?
like I
I
eat
do that
on this
I
counter.
do it
What is this?
I do that, but I do it with code.
What
I
do you mean?
optimize code. If I'm like, oh, I should be doing this thing, and then I find this inefficiency in my code, and I'm like, I gotta fix it,
Yep.
and there goes a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Oh my God. All right, we're almost to 2 hours. Do we even want to? Now my ADHD has just been like, well, we haven't talked about Gina in like 5 minutes. Like, do we even need to
Feel
go
like
back to it?
Well, I'm curious. Is that a planet?
Okay.
Are they right? Is that a planet?
I don't even know. Is she saying it's a planet?
She is saying that
Vevey is saying
they
it's a
is
planet.
saying it's a planet.
She's
Okay,
convinced it's a
Okay.
spaceship.
let's find out.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, okay. This here. It's coming on.
Okay, excited.
This thing right here. Wait,
Oh.
wait, 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 wait,
That's
wait.
your
I didn't
cursor.
go back far enough. I wanted to get this thing coming on here because it had two heads to it.
Heads.
There were
We-
2 heads that
It
showed.
did. See?
Okay, y'all, I got to go back just a little bit further. Hold on.
Yeah, those are
I'm a
stars.
tad bit
See the
distracted with
background?
this, but that's okay. Let me just go do right here.
Okay, so number of
How
frames.
dare you, Gina?
No, those are
We do not
spaceships.
tolerate
See the
you being
background?
distracted.
I'll get it. I will get it.
You gotta get
Okay.
it.
Get it,
That's
Gina.
right. You know, that's the good thing about it. That is a good thing about that 14-second video. It is. I thought, wow, you want to get some information out? Put something like that out. You get some information out.
Yes.
And
I get a
it's
lot of
good. It makes
information out from a
people.
14-second video. Yes.
Well, I mean, how many frames is a 14-second video? A lot, and each frame is a picture, and a picture is worth 1,000 words.
1,000 words. So what is
So-
that? 14,000 words? Holy shit!
That's
like a novel.
It's like a novella, but
Think.
Novel.
I want to.
I don't think she's ever going to get back to it. Well,
No,
she totally
no,
is.
I think she's being distracted.
No, oh, there it is. She found
She,
it.
she's good at
I
getting
want to see if I
distracted.
can get this thing. Yeah, let me put this over here.
There,
It's 1406. Let's see if I can get it to 1406. If this does not go, okay, I didn't even get it to 1406. You know, I bet they scrubbed this. I really bet they scrubbed this. It's 1406. If this is even.
they scrubbed
They
it.
scrubbed it. Yeah, they. Okay.
The
Yeah, we gotta
one.
protect the double-headed
Oh
planet.
no!
Yeah, no, see,
I want to get this at 1406. I bet they scrubbed that data.
that, or it's probably just a different thing, and it didn't have the same artifact.
Yeah.
Like it. Oh, Gina, why are you like this? You don't understand how complicated experiments are. Like, this comes down to a timing detail and a file that does a thing and sometimes gets a little bit desynced with the other thing.
She isn't even at 14. Like, there's still a little bit of room on that bar. Like, why didn't she just keep going?
I mean,
Come on, Gina. Scroll to
Do
the
it.
right. You can do it. Scroll to the right.
No,
Oh,
no, 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 no. Okay, watch it. Ta-da! See,
She
Hey!
found it. There we
didn't scrub
go.
it. Damn it. We should have
I didn't
scrubbed that.
scrub it. Everything I just said was bullshit.
Somebody is not getting their check.
I mean, it's probably me.
Seriously.
I mean, look at that though.
How do we leave that there? That's just that double-headed planet. Now everything is going to be out in the open. Everyone will know the Earth is flat because of the double-headed planet at 14.
Oh my God, she does talk about that at the end. Did you watch the end of it?
I didn't. I did not.
Oh, is she also a flat earther?
Is she?
Well,
hold on. Well, this is
hold up.
timeanddate.com. Or no, this is
So wait,
hold
go more towards.
on. Is this not right?
Wait, how long
What
is
that?
this video? Okay,
It's
yep.
25 minutes.
Go from here.
Longer
We
than
have.
14
I wonder
seconds.
We're still
if
before
this
two
was the
hours.
location of it. Since it was going, was this the location of the ISS tracker when this showed up right here?
Oh, there's like a.
Oh, that was
picture?
the boxes or something she was complaining about.
Looks like a kaiju.
Does look like
Godzilla?
I don't know. Caden, are you still here? Is this a kaiju?
Is that the
No,
Zilla
Caden
that
said he
bears
was
a
going to
colossal
sleep.
god?
We
Yeah.
bored him to sleep.
Well, Caden has a bedtime of like an hour ago, so
He's 18. He has a bedtime.
it's self-imposed.
Okay. You know, I wish I had the discipline to do that. Good for him.
I was thinking the
Yeah, well, you know what? You know whose fault that is, Maya. It's the
I blame the
ADHD.
ADHD. It's a
Exactly.
separate entity that controls me.
That's why I said who.
I mean, and he's doing this at 18. Now that's
I mean,
shit.
You see them right there? I wonder if it was this. It's like over here by China. Is it? Could they be in the
that's-
mountainous
that's
regions
kind
of
of just the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
China?
Russia.
That's like
I'm sure they
Alaska
got
to
mountains
Russia.
over there.
Yeah,
it's not always China's fault.
I mean, but like China, Russia, us, like 95%, it's one of them
Yeah.
nowadays. Okay, like you go back a few centuries, and like you got to put the British and the French up there too.
Yeah,
No,
Spaniards.
God damn it. It's the they. It is always the they. You know
The
Yeah,
this.
I'm saying who the they are, Maya.
No, it's not anything obvious.
I'm
Duh.
trying to get him.
It's all the obvious things. That's why the UN has the flat Earth map as their map.
No,
exactly.
they're controlled by the Illuminati.
Well, you just haven't spent enough time listening to our Lord and Savior Witsit gets it.
I think you spent too much time
Oh,
listening
Austin.
to
I
it.
have spent
Austin.
several hours less talking to him on stream than this guy, okay?
Yes.
Multiple
Wait, you've
hours.
spoken to Witsit,
Oh yeah,
Dr.
I've
Park?
had
Yeah,
at least
Why would you
that's how
do
I
that?
found him.
4
I
hours.
think that's how I found you.
Yeah,
What?
I've got I think at least a 4 hour stream
Yeah.
with Austin.
I think it's two
So,
parts. I think it's 6 hours total, and it's like
oh,
3 hours each.
yeah, I may have split it up for easier digestion, but yeah, I had a
Why?
very pleasant conversation with Mr. Whitsitt.
That's not a
I wouldn't use
thing.
the word. I wouldn't use the word very, but it was
Oh,
pleasant enough.
it was pleasant.
Witsit reins it in if you also like the thing is most of the time when people see Witsit in action, he's playing to an audience and against somebody who's not particularly polite. But if you are nice to him,
Yeah,
he's actually not a huge dick.
apparently a huge anti-Semite, but
Yeah,
a
well,
nice, nice enough fellow. I mean, but
other than
that's
yeah,
what
well,
they say. I haven't actually heard evidence of that yet, but he has made the claim
I've
that anyway.
been warned of that
So
recently.
neither of you know how magnets work, and you're both like
No,
nice to flirts for no apparent reason.
I'm nice. Am I nice to everybody?
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean, if you weren't nice to everyone, like a flirt would be a great place to start. I'm just saying.
I have only see I like
You're
became
like a Canadian. I still don't even
well,
understand you.
even I told him that he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about or who the fuck he was talking to when he said that he used a Van de Graaff generator to disprove the vectorial nature of gravity, and I'm like, there is one Van de Graaff physicist on this planet, and you're talking to him, and no, that's
No,
not how that works.
no,
No, he can. Okay,
you're
well, that
that's
was
very
his
wrong.
first mistake, though, right? Like, you can't say anything disparagingly about the Van de Graaff generator without
Yeah.
getting this guy into a tizzy.
To be fair, like I've got one card that I can play that nobody else can play, and I'm gonna play it.
It's very true.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Right?
anything about that. I'm just
Yeah, but I have, like I said, I've talked to, it's on my channel. I've talked to Witsit for 3, 4, 5 hours or whatever. But yeah, I've talking with Sleeping Warrior for 5 hours. I learned that the Iron Age was around 1800 or so. Apparently, that was
What?
yeah. Apparently, according to the Iron Age, according to Sleeping Warrior, is started when ships started being made out of iron. Apparently, so
Okay. I
yeah,
get that
that's
might be a
new.
term. That might be like a term in the discipline of shipbuilding. Like historically, the
oh,
Iron Age of shipbuilding started. But no,
no, no,
categorically no.
no, no,
It's not even that.
no. Sleeping Warrior are you guys know about Sleeping Warrior? Do you know who he
Tell
is?
us.
He's no longer really a part of the community because of the egg experiment. So this is back in like 2019 maybe or so, and so he's one of the first proponents of RDD, relative density disequilibrium. It's a
Oh my
fancy name for
god.
gravity doesn't exist. It's because of the different densities of
Density and
objects.
buoyancy. Oh my
Yeah,
god, these
and
people. I'm like, do
Oh
you
my
not
head.
understand how?
and he
Oh
proved and he
God.
proved this with an egg. He had a glass of water. He put an egg in it, and apparently it somehow it like it only went down halfway,
Oh,
and then
there's
he put
probably.
salt into the water, and it moved up. Voila! RDD is proved. He also has made the claims that because of
I,
that experiment, he did something that Einstein and Newton could not do, did
they
not do. They
they didn't have
could
eggs.
not do it. They could not prove that RDD goes, but Anthony did
Well, I
with an
mean,
egg.
it was already proven. You know who very famously proved it and went naked shouting down the streets in Greek about
Eureka!
how he had proved it? Eureka! That Eureka! That was what Archimedes supposedly. I mean, who knows if this happened? Like it might have. He
I
was a
have
weird guy.
I have heard on some channel that you always when you talk about physics you have to have a hard on. So I think that's where it started. I really do think that's where it started. When she jumped out of bed,
Completely naked and fully erect.
yeah, it's like eureka. Yep, I think that's it. So yeah, but I don't
But
know.
he was
I
probably just trying to help a king grift. So right.
I have found when I speak with flat earthers, I keep it civil and really I'm not trying to debate them. I'm not trying to prove to them or convince them of anything. I want to know why they don't trust me when I tell them that the universe is X amount of X size, X amount old. We are not in the center of it. I want to know why they believe that. And so, yeah, those kind of conversations can be cordial, I think. Because
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
Maya, she's
as
she's
Weasel
a
was
hard
saying, he's
sell.
like, "Why is Gina like this?" That's precisely the question that I want to know.
Exactly.
The answer
Exactly.
is why
Yeah.
are you doing it, or why do you
Why
do
are you like this?
Why
Like
do
it?
you like
like
this?
actually why are you like this though?
Yeah,
And also
it's
like
very
what is your actual set of beliefs? Like I have some people that I know and talk to a fair amount in the ether cosmology sort of circle. There's another, you know,
Oh,
there's
Alan, you talking about space audits?
yeah, Alan in particular. And I kind of I really want to sit down with him and actually go over like systematically what is your model of the ether? Does it
Yeah.
have do you believe in ether drag? To what extent do you believe in an ether drag? Do you have a particular model that has particular numbers and math that I can associate with it, like an actual physical model? Um,
See, the
because
different. Yeah, go ahead.
because though the ether models were very seriously taken in the 1800s for
Mhm.
very understandable reasons, and they tested a lot of them and they're all contradictory. They're like the results don't make sense with any ether model that is worthy of the name.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't they 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 don't put all of the experiments together and say these are all cohesive and point towards this model. And I want to make
So
them do that.
my first, I think it may have been my first live stream. My Either my first live stream or my first live stream with a guest was Alan actually, and this was a couple 3 years back. This was before space audits, and I asked him those kind of questions of what do you believe in? At least why? Rather, I asked him why don't you believe in these things, or why
Yeah,
don't you accept science? And it's a lot of conspiracy theories, particularly around the
it is.
government and so forth and so on. But I'd love to have him back on. But the thing that I respect about that Alan about other than Witsit is that Witsit I don't think has a model. His goal is to just punch
Yeah,
holes in anybody's debate, anyone's argument. I
yeah,
mean, he will frequently say, "This scientist has put, there's the ether that exists or whatever." I don't believe that, but this disproves relativity, so therefore relativity wrong. So,
yeah.
but Alan, I think, actually has,
An interest in having a model.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if he has one though. But I don't know that he doesn't. I want to know. I want to
Yeah,
find
I
out.
don't either. Um, I
So
would
he's
love
like the Kent Hovind of flat Earth.
of who, Alan or what's it?
Uh,
What's it?
Oh,
yeah, more, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like, yeah.
Austin doesn't beat his wife, to my knowledge.
That we
Right.
know of.
Well, hey, credit where it's due.
Mhm.
but they've run into the law. They're both sovereign citizens, sort of
All
of a
right.
style. Yeah, yeah. Witsit's his biggest video on YouTube is an audit the audit video where he was on Mount Rushmore, was preaching flat Earth with a bullhorn, and he
Yeah.
got arrested. And they brought him the paper. They were like, "Hey, if you fill out this form, then we can give you a permit, and you can keep doing this, but you can't do it with the bullhorn,
Yeah. We have noise
you're."
ordinances and such.
Yeah, like you have to go down to the terrace down there, and even then, like a bullhorn, really, dude.
Flat Earth. Really?
And he was like, "What are you arresting me for?" And they're like, "We're not arresting you. We're just getting you to like move to the other terrace or fill out the form, and we can give you a permit. And we brought you the form, which we didn't have to do." And he's like, "What law?" And they're like, "Okay, fine." And they go and they print out the law. They print it out on paper, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, it might have just been on their phone, and they show him.
Yes.
And he keeps on being like, he keeps on interrupting them and being like, "What's the law?" And eventually they have to arrest him because
He wanted to get arrested.
he wanted to get arrested, and everybody clapped. Literally everybody clapped when they arrested him. And he was wearing a lab coat. It was hilarious.
One of the things that is just kind of like, to me, when I think of white privilege, I think of that.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
If you had not been white and you were giving the cops that much shit, you would have been gone way before then. The pepper spray would have been coming out way before then. But, he can just sit there for 5 or 10 minutes talking out of his ass. And they're like, no, sir. You need to do
I'm
this.
gonna find it and drop it in the chat. Hold
on. He was on. What's funny is that he was on InfoWars recently, and he was being debated or interviewed by one of Alex Jones's stooges, and apparently Alex Jones came out from behind this, off stage or whatever, and just with a mug and was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" He's like, "Hey, we're talking about flat Earth." Apparently, Alex Jones was like, "Yeah, I don't think the Earth is flat." So, so apparently there is a line that Alex Jones will not cross, and that line is that the Earth is not flat. So.
Oh, yeah, that was the thing about Gina. She on the thing she's talking about, like towards the end, she was talking about globes, and then her chat was like, "Gina, the globe is the Earth is flat, right?" And she was like, "I don't really care if the Earth is flat or not. Like, it doesn't matter." And then she just like ended the stream.
Sure. Oh, good Lord.
All right, what are we?
Oh yeah, that's right. The coat. I forgot about the bow tie.
I also forgot about the bow tie.
I remember the lab coat, but the bow tie, yeah.
That is Austin Whitsitt speaking to in a lab coat and a bow tie and a pink shirt. I dig the pink shirt. I think that's
do actually. Yeah, that's
and khakis. I have no problem with the khakis. Yeah. I have no problem with really any of his appearance. Well, okay, I have a problem with the lab coat.
The backwards cap, nah.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't have. I'm not.
It's
yeah,
a
I'm
little
not
too dude
bro
for me.
What? It doesn't complete the ensemble?
No, really.
He's like, no.
I mean, if he's wearing Converse, maybe.
Yeah, well,
can't really see the shoes.
We'd have to find a different. Yeah, like we could probably. Are those Converse?
But they're white. That's a good. That's a good choice. Good color choice.
Racist. Sorry.
Well, no. It goes with the pink. Yeah, it goes with the pink and the black.
But look, this officer's like, "Yo, come on, just like go do the thing. Like, here's the thing." And the Rangers attempt to show Mr. Whitsitt the federal regulation they are citing.
Yeah. It's like, really?
And they go through the thing, and eventually, oh wait, no, that's just a stock photo.
I was gonna say that's not. They didn't put him on the ground.
Yeah. I was like, but they arrested him.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the title of this video is "Scientist" in quotes, because Vincent's not a scientist, gets arrested at Mount Rushmore as crowd cheers, and they do. I mean, like it takes them a little while to get arrested or whatever. So I don't know exactly. What they probably cheer a few different times
to be arrested. To be honest with you,
It really did. Like it this amendment, like he didn't do that there. Like this is somebody else filming, and they're pointing out that like if he had done this to like in a different area and without the bullhorn, because there's a limit.
Yeah, for members of the chat who maybe haven't seen this, what was he doing?
He was preaching flat Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He
yeah,
was
he was
preaching
standing out
flat
on
Earth.
a bullhorn.
That's literally like that's not even like the important part. Like that literally doesn't come up in this video because this video is from Audit the Audit, and
Well, I
they
think
they
the
they
most
audit people who do First Amendment audits and also just general police encounters. And this is sort of kind of in between because he probably thought he was doing a First Amendment audit, but really he's just an idiot.
I think at the very beginning it kind of shows what he was doing, what Austin was doing.
Yeah, we don't need to
Yeah,
see any of that.
yeah. It's people should go check this out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, in a kind of a sick way, but yeah, yes,
AKA
Yeah.
being a
he was being
nuisance.
a nuisance or a dickhead. Yeah,
But yeah, no, he's it's hilarious. The whole thing is hilarious. And there's Mount Rushmore.
yeah. I don't know why Mount Rushmore, but yeah,
Yeah, it is absolutely hilarious if you love the flat earth quite that much.
yeah.
It's hilarious. Even behind, I saw that before I ever knew who Witsit was.
Oh,
Seriously?
really?
Yeah,
No, I saw
yeah.
that because you threw it in a DM to me and said, "Hey, we should go over this." And I was just like, "Nice try though."
See,
Because
I
did
learned
you?
about Witsit
It's
from
not about
Nathan
flat
Hawk.
Earth. Oh yeah. See,
No, no, it wasn't for flat earth. You showed that to me a couple of weeks ago when we were looking at
soft says.
soft sits. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
because it could be something that we would cover in that context, like legitimately.
But it's Witsit. Fuck that guy.
That's my. But like,
I'll
but
leave
like
that.
that.
Yes,
That would be you put that in the title, Maya. We're getting viewers.
it's fair.
Professor Parks, who are you? Where are you? And what do you have coming up this week, month, year?
So I am a content creator on YouTube that makes content on astronomy, science skepticism, and mental health. My day job, which is greatly interfering with my promising YouTube career, I am a assistant professor at George Mason University, and I am the operations director of our observatory. So that has been taking the mass bulk of my time. But what I'm currently in the process of is I'm currently in a spat with Simon Shack, who is the author of the Tychos geocentric, neo-Tychonic geocentric model. I've been reviewing his book. He apparently has not liked how I've been reviewing his book and his model.
You
And
don't
so
say.
hopefully, once I finish his 31 chapter tome, he will then actually come onto my show so that we can talk about it.
Wait, so what is his book on? And
So he is a geocentrist, sort of. So neo-Tychonic model. So Tycho Brahe basically wanted to have his cake and eat it too. The Copernican model was pretty good at with having planets go around the sun. So he couldn't ignore that, but he didn't want to piss off the church, so the Earth had to be the center. So he split the difference. The Earth is center. Moon goes around the Earth. Sun goes around the Earth. Everything else goes around the sun as it goes around the Earth. That is a Tychonic model, and
okay,
recently people
I've heard
have
of it. I didn't know that it was that was the name for it. But
yeah. So
so
it's
the
recently
moon
been
and the
Cool
sun
name.
go around the Earth, and the Earth is the center of the universe. But
And
everything goes around the sun except
yeah,
okay,
well. His model is a little different
okay.
in that
Stars.
he actually has this novel little way of accounting for precession.
Why does he
But
need that? Like
Wait,
see,
how?
in 2024, why is that needed?
exactly, these are the questions that I want to ask him. And
Because
the
Fourier decomposition can be applied anywhere.
well,
That's why.
and the thing is, what really is peculiar about him is that he repeats himself and stresses that he does not throw out astronomy. He bases his model on astronomical observations. So he
Yeah.
doesn't think astronomy is wrong. He just thinks that current astronomers, Copernicans, are misleading people or are just stupid or I don't know.
Who is
So
this again?
this is Simon Shack. His
Oh, I
model
thought you were
is
going to say like Robertson Genis or something.
no. That's another one.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that Mr. Shack is not religious, or at least his model is not religiously motivated. Unlike
Unlike
Dr.
Robert.
Sungenis
Yeah.
and Robert Bennett, whose model is very definitely God centric. So
They
that's
wrote a
another
book.
one.
Didn't they write a book called like The Church Was Wrong?
I think it was
Or The Church Was
Sungenis.
Right, Galileo was wrong. It was like
Yes.
they were
Something like
right,
that,
now they're wrong.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
reviewed that. I was a little, shall we say, frustrated when I reviewed that because
Shocker.
yeah, it's nonsense. So yeah, it's fundamentalist Christian nonsense. So, but I tried to get Bennett on. I actually tried to, and it was really weird because he apparently didn't understand what I was wanting to do, and so I think he thought that we were going to have dinner in D.C. because he apparently is local to me. But in any event, he got ill and nothing came of it. So
Oh yeah, I'm about, well, if an hour is not too far from DC.
yeah,
I
I think
love those
Dr.
units.
Josh isn't too far from DC either. He's in a suburb.
yeah, I'm in Fairfax, Virginia, so I'm about
Oh, yeah.
15,
No,
30,
that's about an
15.
hour for me.
Okay.
Oh man, too bad. I will never visit that area because I totally don't have a brother that lives in DC. Oh no.
Hey,
Yeah, I did I was
Maya always
so you
kills
did,
me.
yeah, Dr. Tab. I was like, your brother's restaurant is like 30 minutes from me. Why are you
yeah, you can do this in the same room.
I have
Yeah.
not right. No, we totally would. We totally would.
Yeah, he's
The
done that with
next time I go,
Stephanie. He's done that with Bree. I was like, Maya, never heard of her.
I haven't. I haven't visited I visited my brother in DC twice, and he's lived there for like 12 years. Okay.
Why do you hate your brother?
Because he lives
You
near
know,
Maya.
it's. I feel challenged and scared when I'm around people that used to like
Fart on your head.
beat me up and fart on my head.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Valid.
And
Valid.
I think it's valid. Okay,
Yeah.
like you know.
For $2, Mark Egamoto says, "No, Maya, you are the center of the universe." Like, obviously,
Of course. Yes.
since and that's why nobody will ever say what the center of the universe is because they don't want to confirm that it's actually me.
Well, I mean, Roger would just say, you know, it's a black hole, and we got to keep the blacks and the whites separated, or something like that.
Well, Gina called me the black hoe, so we've determined that.
Oh man, the black hoe video is great.
I have a cape and everything. It's awesome.
The next time we should do a black hoe video with Gina again, and have Maya. We have to
Coming
have a
right
counter.
for you.
We have to have a counter in the corner.
Oh, very nice.
I love Gina. She's awesome. Hello.
Nice.
All right, Tab, do you have anything coming up this week?
I don't.
Okay. Well, you did do something this past week. Do you want to tell everybody about it?
I didn't. I thought I checked and like I didn't see a thing, so I thought it was actually this week, and it was last week, and I missed it.
No way. Oh my God.
Yeah,
No, that was my late. Okay, so I don't feel so bad because I saw it coming up, but it was my late day at work, and by
I
the
get
time
it.
I got home, it was already over, and I'm like, oh no, like
You did it. You did
I
better
totally
than
want to
me.
like support you when you do shit, but
it is the first time that I have just straight up been a no-show when I like said I was gonna be on a place. I've never
wow.
I've
Yeah,
been
you've
late.
never done that.
I've been late
surprised.
like a couple times, but I haven't even
I
been
mean,
late that
sometimes
often.
people are late.
Yeah, right, exactly, it happens. But no, because I went to work and I was like checking because I wanted to like make sure, but I like didn't just send an email the day before like a smart person would have. And then I got absorbed in work, and then I checked, and it was 55 minutes into the show.
Yep. Never done that myself.
And
Yeah.
so I show up in the side chat and I'm profusely apologizing, and I like give super chat and like yeah. So I didn't have to say all that, but I'm an honest individual. So
What do you do in your field of work, Vandy?
I I am an atomic physicist.
What does that mean?
I study ultra cold atoms, or I use ultra cold atoms to study other things. In my case, I am a postdoc in the lab of Jason Hogan at Stanford University, and we are in the business of using ultra cold atom interferometry to build a detector that is being constructed at Fermilab that's going to be a 100-meter tower with several atom sources that is going to be able to do precision gradiometry at a level and a scale that has never been done, with the long-term goal of eventually building another detector that can use atom interferometry in a similar way to how LIGO uses just regular light interferometry to study lower frequency gravitational waves.
Do you know what the baseline is going to be on that?
So the baseline for an actual gravitational wave detector would probably have to be on the kilometer level. So if it's going to be terrestrially based, you would probably go to one of the like deep mines in South Dakota or something.
Yeah.
But there's already, there's already some laboratory and scientific infrastructure there. I think that might be where the neutrino sort of target that Fermilab already shoots at is. I can't remember exactly where though. But the ideal place would be a space-based telescope or observatory like LISA,
Yeah.
but with ultra cold atoms. And then the thing about that is then I don't think you need to maintain the precise relative alignment as precisely as you might have to do with Lisa, because the time, because the timekeeper is, I'm not sure. I could be very wrong about that.
Yeah, the problem with sending, I think Lisa is actually going to be launched, but we've
Yeah,
my field of study. Well, as I said, I study YSOs, but one of the things I did that, or one of the ways I did that, was by using interferometry, and I use optical interferometry. So we had to combine the light at the in real time rather than those cheaters of radio astronomers. Well,
yeah.
anyway, um, we've been wanting to have a space-based interferometer for decades now, and NASA basically says, no, too complicated, not enough science, we're not going to do it. So trying to get them to actually put up a constellation of telescopes so they could be used as an array, it's like pulling teeth. But I don't know. Exoplanets are sexy now, so maybe they'll reconsider soon.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah, that would be cool. That would be awesome.
I have no idea what just happened.
Cool. I love my work.
Those were all words.
Yeah.
Doorknob Head would like to know if you've ever met Dr. Sheldon Cooper.
No, I have not. I mean, my office is in the same building as Lenny Suskind, and I haven't met him either. So I'm really bad at all of the things.
Well, wasn't Dr. Cooper at Caltech or whatever?
He was at Caltech.
Yeah.
And I've been to Caltech once, but that was when I was looking at prospective grad schools. I was
there for 9 months on an internship.
Grayson Buck says Dune! Exclamation
Dune!
Shai Haloob. My voice is a killing word. The David Lynch, I don't care. David Lynch version. I Ride and Die. It's the new version. Yeah, Timothée Chalamet. He's pretty and all that, but no.
I haven't seen them yet. I've read the first one, but I haven't read the rest of them.
My brother Vic, he's read basically all of them, and he says that the first 3 are solid, and then he just takes an acid trip, and the last 3 are just fucking crazy. So like it stops making sense, really. So, but Maya, what do you have coming up?
That is a great question. I was waiting for you guys to like stop geeking out because I don't know what's going on here.
Stop being erect. Yes.
I like him so much. Him, like him so much. Anyways, um, tomorrow I will be on Skeptic Haven with Jay Bundy, Pocket Lecker 86, and possibly other black people talking about black shit.